Season 2 has a solid ending, though. You can kind of cut it off right there. Mmm. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't use it too heavily as the show progressed. I'm trying to remember it. It's been so long now. Yeah. I mean, they had some stunt doubles. I actually know the guy he's the Asian brother who stunt doubles for Nick Frost on Into the Badlands. I actually know the guy he's the Asian brother who stunt doubles for Nick Frost. Oh, I can't hear your voice, bro. I think it's still not shared. All right. Either press the share button or hold the share button to get that menu. Yeah, on your controller, top left. It's either you double tap it or you tap it or you hold it to open up this share menu. Alright, and then go to sharing and broadcast settings. Audio sharing, yeah, and just check all those. Yeah, you did once, then uh that video my game stream when I fell asleep, I didn't hear your voice, so that was probably like a very boring video. Especially when I started falling asleep. That sucks. I probably lost subscribers. That's funny. Yeah, I know, right? I think it's hilarious. I'm gonna do a sound check. Oh, did you click them all? It didn't work. Wow, that's weird. What is going on? Then there must be something weird. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think there's one more you gotta go to. Uh, you gotta go to the party chat or go to party settings in the party chat. Yeah, or just go to the party. It's in party settings. Sorry, man. It's just PlayStation's weird. They have a lot of things turned off just to be safe, you know? For the There should be allow your voice to be shared. Let me see. I'm gonna do a sound check. Let me see. I'm gonna do a sound check. For the there should be allow your voice to be shared. Let me see. I'm gonna do a sound check. I think. Well, if you hit always allow all those three things, then I think I just need a. Yo, say something, bro.
It's so bad.
Let me see. I'm gonna do a sound check.
So bad.
Yeah, we got it. We're good.
Yeah, I can't watch this show anymore. I made it to season 3 and I can't do it. She's unbearable.
That's that whatchamacallit? Um that Van Helsing?
Yep.
Peely commented on our on the game streams telling me to not fall asleep.
Yeah, or you were snoring last time.
Dang. See, I kept that video because I want to hear me snoring because I haven't heard that.
You want
Dang.
to hear yourself snore?
I kind of don't want to because but it's weird at the same time. It's like, when is the opportunity to hear that? I'm gonna go to Gotham. What up, Peely? Release a Snyder Cut, homie. It was yesterday, but
Yeah,
happy birthday.
speaking of the Snyder Cut,
Oh yeah.
there was a lot of people bitching about how Jason Momoa said, I guess apparently that he hopes that they leak it.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
So
Wait, people don't want it leaked, or they don't want him saying it to be leaked, or all the above?
I guess both.
Dang, that's I don't know. We have a goal, and that's like, we want the movie. That's like, that's a huge hit in our
Personally,
favor, I
I
think.
feel that if he's willing to go as far as to say that he hopes that it leaks, then it has to be done at this point.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I definitely thought that when he said he saw it and says it's sick. The fact that he'd have to post it on a specific day, and he was with Zach and Deborah at some. It looked like some top ground type of restaurant that you would be at a hotel or something. A place that looks perfect if someone would like rent for a little personal private screening or something. Maybe there was like a tiny little something that went down.
Yeah, true.
And probably that's why he's like, hey, let me uh you
Or they
know
could have just bought a
make this
projector or
video because
something.
holy shit. Or
They could
they
have
saw
just
it
brought a
recently and
projector.
then they met up 3 days later. Sorry, what?
They could have just brought a projector and just played it on a
That
big
too,
screen
that
somewhere.
too.
There's a lot of possibilities.
This dude's taking pictures of my boobies right now. The hell?
What? You have boobies, Kojay?
In the game as my female characters, I do.
Hope you tell people that you're a male while you're playing as females.
Oh no, no, I don't I play unisex. I don't get anything personal. It's like, hey, we got a mission to do. Chill out. Also with
Hey
Overwatch, a
man,
lot of
say
people play as different characters, and there's like girls and guys. But I do
you're a
know
full
what you mean.
blown role
Like in World
player
of
then, huh?
Warcraft, some people kind of play it up.
Yeah, they
Someone makes
do
a
a
cute
lot.
girl. People do nice things for her and shit. And there's really a dude on the other end who looks like maybe Eric or some shit, and he's like, "Oh, guys, stop, don't."
Yeah,
I just
that's
drew out of the hat. I don't know why. Eric
That's
just
weird.
came to mind. Yeah. He's been the talk of the town lately, though. Oh,
Talk,
snap.
talk of the town. He's been the talk of the garbage dump.
Oh, man. I didn't even bother listening to it. Oh, yeah. Peely likes our show. Yeah, I wouldn't talk of the town. It's just like some of our people just talk about it a little bit too much, I think.
I don't really see anybody talking about Eric.
I guess it's
That's why
different when I play catch up.
that's why it's kind of even so comical to me, like, 'cause I don't see anybody on my timeline or stream or bringing this guy up. Like, he makes it seem like he has this big ass presence, and he's literally one Ben Shapiro supporter guy. He's just some right wing guy.
Wow.
It's like there's a lot more people that get way more burned than him. That's all I'm saying. Like,
True that.
I just felt like Eric is just trying to keep his name out there personally.
I mean, does he have a show? I mean, does he have a podcast? Like, what's his thing? Is he a host or
I don't know.
a comedian? Is it, like, what's he working on?
Working on getting
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That fedora isn't helping though.
It takes a certain type of person to rock a fedora, I'm like talking like, Dick Tracy or Michael Jackson, it's a small group of people who could pull it off, I mean, anyone else.
Mobsters and killers and people with actual style.
Yeah.
If you're not
you
one of
feel
those
me, right?
things,
There's a
if you're
finesse
not
to
one
it.
of those three things, then you shouldn't be wearing a fedora.
Yeah, I know, and I'm talking about some of my uncles too. It's like, come on, guys, I love you, but you're kind of doing this pedo vibe.
Like, fedoras are a very specific type of hat.
Yeah, like trench coat. Someone's not wearing anything under. They're gonna flash you type of hat.
I have a friend that used to wear fedoras.
Yeah?
I told his ass to cut that shit the fuck out.
I actually used to wear them
a lot, and and his sister told his ass to cut that shit the fuck out.
Oh,
and then
shit.
everybody I know told him to get that shit the fuck out.
Hey, when the
He
sister
stopped
gets
wearing
involved.
he stopped wearing that goddamn fedora. He learns his lesson. Like, you will get ridiculed by your closest friends over a dumbass hat on your head.
Oh man, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Not worth it, exactly. Cause I'll bring it up to you every time, every day. Every time I see it on your head, I'll make a comment about it. It will get annoying.
I didn't rock it that long. I used to wear it when I used to be in this little goth fashion scene, like 15 years ago. So I would wear it for my stuff. I would wear like the leather pants and the.
Oh, Snack Kojay used to wear all black and paint your nails and stuff and.
Yeah,
man.
In
the forest with other
I didn't dance in the forest. I didn't dance under the. I didn't dance with the devil under a pale moonlight or anything weird like that. No.
Smoke cigarettes by the dumpster.
We did drink some mead.
Mead.
Yes. And what fourth? Nah, but those people are so cool. I keep in touch sometimes. But really, it's all about the music I was attracted to. But yes, that's when I did do the fedoras. But I think it was like I was going for a Michael Jackson thing myself. Like that was my getup. I don't know if it worked, but the girlfriends liked it at the time, so I guess it was okay.
So you're doing things based off the approval of women now.
Oh no, that was then.
I hope so.
Now I just please myself. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
I'm sure a lot of young men thought wearing tight jeans and being goth was cool to the ladies so long ago.
Yeah, it's like a mating call really for a certain type.
Honestly, if you don't got the balls, then you shouldn't even be wearing tight jeans, man.
Yeah, you know. I mean, I made sure my stuff was stretchy.
That's a dangerous game.
That is, man.
Playing.
You be singing high pitch every day.
So, you know, if you're wearing tight jeans and tight ass jeans, and girls look down there and they don't see nothing, that shit is flatter than a plate, flatter than a board. Right when it gets to your crotch, and then you're done.
They're expecting to see, you know, a silhouette of like a cucumber and shit.
They're expecting to see if you're actually a man.
They want to see that Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin.
Right, so it's a very dangerous game, man. Like,
it is.
And it's generally uncomfortable. Like, I personally don't even understand how men can do it outside of the fact that you're just really just trying to show off your dick. Like, because I personally
pretty much, right?
I've wore tight jeans before, and I took them just off immediately because it's too uncomfortable. You automatically have to wear like boxer briefs because they're so fucking tight.
For real, you have to give some
then
freedom in there.
That's just an extra layer of nut hug right there.
Yeah.
So then you're walking around all day. You feel what I mean? You constantly gotta move your dick and your balls.
Yeah, because then that little crease, it goes in between.
Nobody talks about that unless you have small ass dick or something. But that's a genuine problem where I don't see how you can just be like, yeah, I'm a punk rock guy. I wear tight ass jeans or whatever. Like, unless you're trying to be some type of sex symbol, cut it the fuck out. Because you're just gonna end up just strangling your dick at the end of the day. The way I see it. Like, I wear fitted jeans for that reason.
I mean, it makes sense.
I like my jeans to be slim with some space in it.
I need some breathing room, man.
Like I'm going to a Fall Out Boy concert. It's not how
I can't even imagine you at a Fall Out Boy concert rocking super tight jeans.
I wouldn't be there.
No, I'd be like 44. This is more like 22.
I've been to a Head PE concert, but they're more like nu metal, I guess.
Oh, okay. Like that Linkin Park, Slipknot kind of deal.
They're more like, they're more like Slipknot in some senses.
Ah, nice. I used to roll like that too.
Well, I would say they're not, because the dude raps way more than Slipknot. Like, I wouldn't consider what Slipknot does. I wouldn't even consider that really nu metal.
I thought it was because they had a DJ and a programmer on their
exactly.
musically.
Like, other than that, they're not really necessarily nu metal in the sense where they're not rapping. Like even like Disturbed, like perfect example, like kind of like nu metal in that more. You know, like hard rock type of sense, or you know, like metal type of sense. You feel me? Like it would be like Disturbed's first album. That is like a good example of what they're not really necessarily. They are rapping, but they're not really necessarily rapping. But it's really about the flow of how they're singing over the melody. Like certain, like a perfect example is like a song like "Stupefy." Like a "Stupefy" would be like a nu metal song. It's a perfect example for a nu metal song.
Yeah, actually,
I would like to think.
I think the whole band is like a good example.
Yeah, you can tell by how he sings it that he's screaming, but he's screaming in a way where he's kind of rapping over the melody. You feel what I mean? So that's why it's nu metal. Where in Linkin Park sense, they have a guy that sings, and then they have a guy that raps, and then you
DJ.
got like shit like and the DJ, and then you got like Linkin Park, where Linkin Park kind of does a mix of the two, where he raps, but then he screams too, and he sings. Like, you feel me? So they're kind of like more. I always felt like Limp Bizkit. I meant to say, Limp Bizkit was way more of a mainstream kind of new metal band. Well,
Yeah, I
one of the
didn't
most
dig them.
mainstream. Their first couple songs were good, but as a band, they were just kind of like too old school douchey, in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
they kind of had they had a new school appearance, but they kind of had an old school vibe of how they carried themselves as a rock band, and that's why it
yeah.
didn't really work in the long run.
They also remind me of just like, the guys in the fraternity that have been there way too long, that need to, move on to life. I don't know. They
Yeah,
just
true.
seem kind of
And
dated.
then then there's Corn. Corn is actually
Oh, dang, that was my jam.
yeah, they're actually a great example of new metal. Even though they kind of a lot of these bands moved away from the new metal. That's why new metal actually kind of died, because a lot of these bands that were new metal actually ended up moving away from new metal pretty quickly. And Korn actually moved away from new metal, like I would say around their third album. After that,
Yeah, the third
they
one, the one with the girl doing the hopscotch, the one that was drawn by Todd McFarlane, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Around that album, that was like their
Follow the
last,
leader,
I would
that's
say,
it.
real new metal album. And in reality, Disturbed kind of stopped being new metal after their first album, because Disturbed's albums, each one of their albums are different. Like each one of their albums are kind of a different genre, like and I think that some of their songs in their later albums, even in albums after that, were definitely were still new metal. Like one or two songs would be new metal on the album, but the one album would be hard rock, and the next album would be metal, and then the next album would
Mm.
just be regular rock. Like the way they would make their albums, that they would kind of stick to a specific type of genre of rock, and then they would make like a whole album based on that genre of rock. But their
Yeah.
first album was a new metal album. But people kind of get that confused, and they kind of put them in like they don't even really know where to put them. A lot of people say they're just hard rock, but they're actually not. They're nowhere near really just hard rock, because just hard rock would just be like Aerosmith or something.
Yeah. I think some classic like them, right? Like Rolling
Yeah,
Stones or something.
like so Disturbed is not even really. You can say that they are, because they definitely have hard rock like songs that are definitely like, yeah, this is a hard rock song for sure, based on how the melody is, how he's singing it, you feel me, even how long it is and what they're talking about. And then the next song after that will be metal as shit though, and the next
Mm-hmm.
song after that will be metal as shit though. So it's like it's really hard to kind of say where they kind of stood, but where Linkin Park, they kind of just gave up on the new metal genre. I like to feel like, like Mike Shinoda didn't want to rap anymore. And then once Mike
Yeah.
Shinoda stopped rapping, like the thing that was special about the band kind of just went away. Like that's why I always say like Mike Shinoda's kind of a dickhead, because he's like, oh, I don't want to rap anymore. I want to sing and I want to draw. Like, you're not the singer, man. Chester's the singer. You're the rapper. What the fuck are you talking? Like, you're just gonna fuck up the whole feng shui, aren't you? And that's exactly what he did.
Wow. That's so true. That's so true.
It's exactly what he did. Like, he just fucked up the whole feng shui, and Linkin Park could have been a great legendary band for years
Yeah,
to
because they
come,
kind
but
of kind of dwindled after all that, you know?
because they just went to a totally different direction. I would say that Linkin Park became alternative rock in the
Yeah,
long run.
pretty much, yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with alternative rock, because I like a
But
lot of
that's not their
alternative rock bands.
speciality, you know?
Exactly. That was never their thing. That's like fucking Breaking Benjamin. You feel me? Going new metal. That would be cool. Like they'd be like, yeah, that's cool. You feel me? Like, I guess that's some good music right there. But this is not really what I want to hear from you. I don't want to really hear Breaking Benjamin make new metal songs. I want to hear you make alternative rock songs that
You're
are kind
right.
of weird, and you talk about weird ass stuff, and then you scream for a really long time, and you're always talking about death for no reason. I like that stuff. I like when you do that stuff.
Right? It's your thing. You're good at it. Do what you do.
Yeah, I like the synthy voice thing that you put on. You feel me, in the editing room, that that makes you kind of sound like a robot during like certain high pitches, like
I like it, but
alternative
then
rock.
when
I
I see
like
it
all that
live,
alternative shit
oh,
you do. Like, yeah, when you see it live, it's terrible.
I know it sucks, man. I'm like, These guys really that good? What happened?
You never go see alternative rock bands live. Cause
That's why a lot of bands I like are
they
Asian.
can't get all that alternative shit that they put in the editing room, in the editing bay, in the music. You feel me? All that shit is on the album.
Yeah.
and it stays on the album. Like, like.
That's all you need. That's it. They're going on tour. That's fine.
But another reason why I feel like new metal also kind of, went its course was because a lot of, dare I say it, a lot of white kids or kids that were into rock music kind of just ended up becoming rappers or started getting into hip hop. And
that's true.
so there was really no need to mix, the rock element with the hip hop element in certain senses.
I'm part white, so I could attest to that. That is true.
Yeah.
Booyah. No, it was true. I was there. It happened to me. Oh, horror. Like, totally, dude. Right on.
I should. I was there. I saw the transition of of white America. You feel me?
Everyone sees the transition of white America. It's like, wow.
Like I saw for when all the wiggers started popping up. Like,
right?
All these white kids wearing baggy clothes and filling figures like they're black and everything. Where the hell are they coming from?
No, dude, that's true story.
It all started from there. You feel me? Once the over influx of those kids started coming around, all that shit just got refined into the modern age where we are at now.
You're so right. I used to work at this Italian restaurant, and it was predominantly a bunch of white kids in a white neighborhood, Orange County, whatever. And there's this guy who came in, this black dude. He's got the hat tilted. He's all hip and cool. Then one of the waiters, he stopped and he was like looking at him like he was Father Christmas. The guy was asking for an application. He's like, "Oh my God, I hope he works here." I was like, "Why? You know him? You like him?" He's like, "No, but we get to work with that black guy." I was like, "Daryl works here." And Daryl's like just a 30-year-old dude who's black, but apparently he doesn't count. And then I said, "But Daryl works here." He's like, "That's not what I mean." I was like, "What do you mean? Elaborate." And then, we just moved off. And I was just like looking left and right, like, what? This just happened? I thought this is only in Family Guy. What the fuck? It was just like a weird shit thing, But that's true story. That's true.
White people are weird, man.
They trip me out, bro. That side of the family, they trip me out. Like, I went to a family reunion, and this auntie, I did not know who she was, because we got estranged from that side of the family after the divorce and blah 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 blah. So, anyways, she looks at me and she goes, "Oh, you look so much like your father." And I was like, "Oh, cool." But then she does this hand washing thing in front of my face, and then she goes, "But the color is off." And I was like, my head just tilted like a dog hearing a sound high pitched, like, "Huh?" And then she went, "Huh," and then walked off, and then that's it. And I was just like tilting my head left and right like a dog, like, that just happened? Like, it's like we get these weird commercial Family Guy inserts when white America is just weird.
That word is out. I've made it a rule that.
And being mixed, I see it a lot more often.
I will not be in a room alone with more than 5 white people. The limit. If he goes over 5, well, honestly, it's really 4. If it hits 5, then I'm out of there.
Man, no, I don't blame you. I was at a house party.
Like they say white people are scared of us. Hell fucking no. We are scared of them. At least I am.
No, I think it is, because true story. This happened.
I'll be honest. I try to cut down the white interactions to a minimum. In my everyday life. So I can count on one hand how many white people I ran into today.
Oh man, classic.
and that was by design.
Oh man.
That like even when I hang out with my white friends, I tell them specifically, do not bring me to any overly white places. But I want you to think about where you're gonna bring me and how white it is, and if I'll be comfortable there, and then let me know.
And then I'll get
So
back to you.
yeah, so there's not gonna be any situation where you're bringing me to some backyard barn party, and you feel me, it's like, and I wasn't told.
It is
That's
so
not.
true. It's so true.
That's not happening. You feel what I mean? I need to know. I need to know exactly what we're
Yeah,
doing.
my South Indian cousin, he ended up in a party in Riverside, and half of it were KKK people, and they're all giving weird looks, and he's like, "I'm feeling strange here," or whatever, and he picked up on it and bounced. But 7 years ago, I was at this party with my boys. It's a house party, right? And like for some reason, we're like the only ethnics there or whatever, and this girl's just talking to my boy, and he's talking to her, feeling her up, da 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 da. Then all of a sudden, this other guy comes in, this white dude or whatever. Apparently, he lives at the house. Who's like a roommate of my friend who lives there, and he grabs the girl by the neck. He said, "I thought I told you, blah blah." I couldn't make out what he was saying. He was just cursing, and he shoves her face into the sink because we're in the kitchen, and then runs off, storms off, and then she chases after him, and then we're like, "What happened?"
What the fuck?
Apparently, that girl was his friend, and he didn't like her talking to the quote quote black guy. So he attacked her, and then she got all crazy, and then they argued. She when he put her face into the sink, he actually chipped her tooth, and then there was even a call for domestic violence, and then me and my boys were just hanging out in the
What?
back, and then we were like, let's leave, and my friend's like, yeah, man, I got a daughter, I don't want no subpoena. And I was like, okay, and we bounced. But yeah,
What the
it's like
fuck?
weird stuff happened like that. It's like he had a problem, but he couldn't even face him, so he attacked the girl. Granted, everyone's drinking too, but there's some weird truth in drink sometimes, It was just awkward. It's like weird, yeah, what were we saying? It was weird.
That's that's beyond. That's beyond weird.
Yeah.
That was that was violent.
Yeah, there's been a couple things like that, but that's like I think the biggest. So if that's the worst it's gotten, that's not too bad. From my
Yeah,
experience.
America's a dangerous place.
Yeah. Stupid people in big numbers are dangerous.
I'll be honest. I don't even. Well, I tried my best not even to go out in public with white women. They're not gonna catch me slipping like that. For real, unless they invite me somewhere and I meet them somewhere. Like I'm not driving around you like that. I'm not taking you out to dinner. I'm not doing that.
uh,
I'm not walking down the street with you more than. I'm not walking down the street with you at all. Really, that's not even happening. Because I'm not even walking down the street by myself half the time. I have a fucking car. Like, so that's just that was like. It's like, whoa, so, and I don't want to say that to make it seem like I'm jumping all through all these hoops, so,
yeah.
just in
I
case,
feel it.
I do have to chill with one of my white female friends. I'm not. It's like, like I said, it's very simple, you feel me?
Is
I'll
that
meet
just
them
because of the
somewhere, we
area
can
you're at?
it's not just it's because how I am personally, you feel me, based on how
Okay.
I've grown up. Like, I grew up in the suburbs. Well, I went to school in the suburbs, but, I grew up in, what they would call the hood, where, where the black people are at. Pretty much the majority of my life, you feel me? So, but even from when I was young, when I used to walk around, obviously when I was young, I didn't drive or anything, so you with your friends, you're on foot moving. Walk around, with your white friends and all that shit. And especially with white girls, you feel what I mean? Like, yeah, you'll get stares. Like, I've even been places with white girls that I was not fucking at all or dating whatsoever. You feel what I mean? When I say
Wow.
like head turn left and right, you feel what I mean? It's kind of and like you would have to be a black guy to actually know things like this. You feel what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you're with certain type of women in public, you feel me? You're gonna get a certain type of attention. Like, and that's just the truth. You feel me? So I try to
That's why I love
avoid
my LA. We
the
don't get much of
majority of
that.
that.
We don't get much of that here in LA.
Yeah, I would know. I haven't been to LA yet, so. But
Yeah, I
I
think you
would
would
say
like it, B.
people are like how do I say, like, I wouldn't say they're overtly racist, you feel what I mean, but still, Jersey still, they call it weird New Jersey out here, so Jersey is a very odd state. You don't know who you can run into, how people are going to be, how people are going to act, like, 'cause everybody keeps to themselves out here, almost too much, to the point where it's like, it's weird. So it's like you don't really know who the fuck is living around you and what they believe and what they think. You feel me? You could run into somebody. You feel me? They could be cool as hell. You gonna run into some hillbilly looking motherfucker and think like, oh man, this guy's part of the KKK. He can end up being one of the coolest guys you ever met in your life. You feel me? And then you can walk up to some normal looking white guy out here. He end up being like uber racist and shit.
That's true. You can't tell.
Like, you be uber racist and shit, you know what I mean? Like, dude be a whole Nazi. You feel me? Like, what the hell? You feel what I mean? What the hell you doing working here at fucking Quick Check? They just hire Nazis to work over there. Like, get my cigarettes and let me get out of here. You know? Like,
it's like the interview process. It's like, you Nazi? Ha! You hired!
So, in Cali, like, from what I've told, like they're way more overt with it, so you can kind of see the hate from a mile away and then avoid it. Out here, it's not really the same. Like out here, trust and believe. Like I've been in plenty of white people's houses that I was invited to and not invited to. You get catch my drift. I've been brought into plenty of white homes. You feel me? By my friends, and I was not welcome. Plenty of times because I was black. So that's something you definitely have to get used to. There is going to be now. Hey, hey Kojay, I get this pretend you're black person. Like, hey Kojay, I get we're cool, we're friends, but I can't really have you over my house because my parents are racist as shit and they'll fucking hate you. So you'll be like, oh, well, at least thanks for letting me know that. Like, no, you won't even get that out here for the most part. Like, you'll literally find out in person. Like. They're like, oh, like your dad is kind of racist as fuck. And they're like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that. Like you forgot to tell me that.
It's like, oh, by the way, my parents aren't really up to speed with like, I don't know, everything. What? And then here's my dad.
Yeah, I'm not just talking with girls. I'm talking with guys too. You feel me?
Yeah.
Just my regular friends. Like, I've had friends like, man, your pops, your moms is kind of. I've even had friends like, man, your grandma is on some whole other shit. She's from another time. You gave no warning of this.
Yeah, even my boy.
None at all. Like,
even my boy, he married his girlfriend from high school. They've always been together. It's really cool. But he said that, and she's a white girl, he's a black guy, and he said that when they got serious, her grandmother had problems with it, but after a while she softened up and changed, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, of course she changed, man. Cause she an old ass grandma. You about to fold up. You about to fold up to this man who's about to continue your bloodline, whether you like it or not. Yeah, no, bitch.
You're a very house-dad right there, dog.
Yeah, and you only got a few years to love your grandchildren, so you better pick them wisely. Yeah, they might come out a little brown, just a little bit. They still gonna love you though.
For real.
And they're gonna come up. You're gonna come up to you like, grandma, tell me a story. You're gonna be happy. You better fucking enjoy it. There's only so much things you got to enjoy in life. I'm just saying, especially when you get
older. That's for real,
so.
Man. Life is too short.
But I'm not gonna lie. Like I have a white friend whose name I'm not gonna say, who's all his sisters married or has kids with black guys. And he has four sisters. One of them passed away, but before she had any kids or anything, but she used to fuck with black guys still. I know this because I was around.
Yeah, wow. There you go. So my family, we're all mixed up.
Shit like that does happen. Like, so I do understand the fear of some white people that their families might get just ran through and
Oh,
completely look different in the future, I guess, because it does. I've literally seen this shit with my own eyes. Like, if you would have seen like their family and how the next generation of the family, they are black now.
ain't nothing wrong with that though. They're just people.
Yeah, like
But yeah,
they're not dark as hell. They're all like beige skin and everything. But like, yeah, in the face, in the features and everything, the only thing that they really have that I would say looks like, their parents, so to speak. You feel me? Their white parent is the eyes. You feel me? And that shit was kind of funny to me at the time. But it was my friend though, so he didn't. He didn't care. Like, he's a dude. What was he gonna do? All his sisters were older than him too. He was like the youngest, so he literally had no control over this. So, and it makes it so funny. He likes Spanish girls. He doesn't even like white girls.
I used to have a type and like that, like an ethnic type, but not anymore. Now I'm like, well, I've been everywhere.
Like,
so
no, I mean
good.
on some shit like where he does not plan to, like, oh yeah, I know my sisters all had kids with black guys, so I'm gonna have the white. He's like, no, I like Spanish girls. I am gonna marry a Spanish girl, and then I'm gonna have, I guess, a half-white Spanish child that doesn't look like my father. That's pretty much how he's coming. So,
no, they're like,
you never know how people choose to live their lives out here, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people, some people don't give a shit about that type of shit, like.
Well, my family's all mixed. We got like mostly Sri Lankan, but also we got Indian, Mexican, white, Chinese, black, and all faiths actually. Like mostly Buddhist and Christian, then Muslim and yeah. So we're like a whole United Nations around like Thanksgiving,
my
bro.
My dad's side of the family are Christian as hell. I hate that shit. It's annoying.
Yeah? Too stressful? Too strict?
No, they're not strict at all, actually. They're not strict. They don't make me go to church. They don't push their beliefs on me. It's just annoying. I'm like, man, why the fuck do y'all believe in Jesus? Because it's literally that. I don't like that nigga. Like, why do so many of you have to believe in him? Like, you feel me? Like, what the fuck? that shit annoys me to no end. Like, even had this one cousin, like, oh my god, is she like the biggest Jesus freak? I mean, like, don't bring her around here. Every time she comes around, I'm like, oh man, yeah, it's nice to see you, and I am happy to see her because I don't see her for very long times because I avoid her like the plague. So when I do see her, it is a good time. But after that, after the 5 minutes of being around her, she wants to pray and do all this golly shit. I'm like, oh no, I got shit to do.
Wow. That I love my church family, and ain't none of us like that. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. That sounds like a cartoon character.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I got a gal. You feel me? Like, and I have more aunts like that too. I got aunts and cousins that have literally probably almost gotten into physical fights over the goddamn Bible.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
That's like not what it's about. That's like the opposite.
It doesn't even make any sense. Like, it was just one time my aunt came out, my cousin too. She said that my cousin is always lying about fucking miracles and shit. I'm like, lying about miracles? Like, who gives a shit?
That's pretty intense. Wow, it must get really heated. Dang.
She's always coming around saying that, oh yeah, she wanted this to happen and she prayed and then God gave her this. Like,
yeah, I've heard those stories. I've
I've seen you go over here and you asked this person for help. That had nothing to do with God.
Yeah, man, I've heard stories where people are convinced that there is a God because of certain lotto numbers that showed up right when they prayed and right when they scratched and stuff like that. I'm like, I think you could do better.
It is ridiculous. Like, sometimes I wish, like, I don't even sometimes. I definitely wish all the time. I wish, like, the majority of my family just had no religion. That would be great. I would enjoy the shit out of that. I wouldn't say all of them. The key ones of them can definitely I hope one day that they decide to denounce. And they say, you know what? I'm gonna fall back off to Jesus for a while.
I'm taking a little break.
We're taking a little break. Taking a little break from the Lord. You know, because God is that shit annoys me. Like I don't, and it's not on some like oh Satanish shit like oh fuck
no,
God
no,
type
no,
of
no,
shit.
no.
It's really not. It's just
It's another kind of superficial, I think.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
another different kind of
Like,
level. It's like a, it's like the nice racist. You know, the opposite of racist, where people are like, oh wow, you're black. Oh, it's so fucked up what they did to you. Yeah, I'm so against slavery. I was never into it. And then stuff weird stuff like that. It's like
nah, I feel that's
that
kind
kind
of
of weird
exactly what it is.
superficial. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does get pretty superficial when it comes to the Christianity sometimes. Like I even had a girl that I was fucking with that literally converted to Christianity, like literally in the middle of like me fucking with her. Like one
Wow.
minute, like I'm fucking with her, she's a normal girl. She come through chill, we fuck, she leave. You feel me? Regular shit, we'd hang out, do other stuff. Went to a movie one time. One day she was telling me like, yeah, I converted to Christianity, and I'm just like, what?
Dang, what'd you do to
She
her?
didn't. I didn't do. Had nothing to do with me. That's really even like. At first, I did think it had something to do with me, but like, I guess it was something she just really wouldn't do for a while.
Oh, all right. Well.
And nothing changed at all in the dynamic
Oh.
except for the fact that she fucking kept bringing up fucking Christianity and talking about God and Jesus all this goddamn time. All of a sudden, that
Oh.
shit got annoying as fuck. I'm like, oh my god. So now
Oh
you're gonna
man.
come around and talk about Jesus and shit all the time. And you know what makes it even worse? She knew I don't like. She knows I don't like Jesus. She knew that prior. I've known her for a long ass fucking time. She knew that shit. Like, and she just comes around me of all people, like, oh man, talking about Jesus. Like,
It's like
I'm
people
like,
should know.
no.
You have
And
a
then she
certain
got
thing you
offended
don't
on
talk
me, like,
about.
oh, sometimes I don't feel like you respect my religion. I'm like, respect your. You want you literally just became a Christian. This is new. This is a new thing to me. Now I have to deal with you talking about Jesus. I don't want to disrespect Jesus, but I don't want to hear about the nigga. Is that so hard? I don't. I'm tired of hearing about that nigga. Like, that's it. I don't believe him. You always say I don't believe him. Like just like you say, all you gotta do is repent. No, I don't believe that. Cause you go to church, repent. They're gonna start telling the government what the hell you did, and that's what they did in Nazi Germany. Right? Not
Dang.
stupid. Right?
Mhm.
You're not gonna have me fucking repenting all the shit that I did, and then the Gestapo gonna be knocking on my fucking door. Like I'm just saying, like.
Nah, you right. See, I don't know. See, I'm Christian, but I don't think my faith needs to be stressed that hard. I think it's like you either got it or you don't, and you exercise it by example. That's it. All this.
Technically, I'm Christian. I just really don't care. Just leave me alone when it comes to that shit. God damn. It's like the way I see it is like, fuck, y'all forced this goddamn Bible on us for like fucking 500 years. Do we have a rest of it already? God damn. Like, y'all were reading it yourselves. And y'all came and started forcing it on everybody for like 5 decades. Now I have to deal with my family, older generations of my family coming around me being all fucking Jesus crazy for no reason. And I'm supposed to sit back and go, oh man, this is fine and over. Like, no, it is not. I'm personally going to make sure at least 2 generations of any family that comes out of me, there's not going to be no Bible involved. Just because of all the extra Bible that I already had to deal with. No. Like, no. Like I said, I've literally been to family functions and had to sit through and hear dumbass arguments about the Bible and Jesus, and motherfuckers is leaving, and you feel me, getting angry over Jesus. Like,
That's usually a topic that shouldn't spark anger. You know? Just in general. So that's why it's kind of silly.
That can be argued, but
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But from a standpoint of someone who's supposedly a follower or believer, how would that get aggressive? That's just strange to me.
Because everybody has different beliefs about Jesus,
That's true.
Kojay. Don't you understand?
That's true.
At this point, it's just fill in the blanks. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like fucking comic books at this point. Believe what you want to believe. You feel what I mean? Like, well, Jesus didn't die. You know, Jesus wasn't white. He was a fucking alien. Who cares? You feel me? Like, you're not reading the Bible right. I'm reading the Bible right. It goes on and on and on. It never ends. Oh, that's not all the books in the Bible. There's more books. You didn't read this book that they took out. You have to read all the excluded books. So you're wrong. All this stupid ass shit. Like, you feel me? It never ends. It never ends.
It goes too far when people go to violence, though. In any faith, really. That's when it's way too much.
Well, it's not really about the violence for me. It's really just about the annoyance, man.
Yeah.
It's like you're just saying. That's just the same thing I feel about Islam too with Muslims. It's like, I don't hate Muslims. I have some Muslims in my family, you know, and all that. Do you? They say that they're violent, but hey, I don't know. I'm not around there. I don't have both sides of the story. You feel me on any part? But one thing I will say is, you better not make me fucking convert to shit. That's the only thing I care about. Like, as long as you don't come around me trying to force me to read the Quran, which I have 3 of already. I have 3 Qurans, so I don't even need one.
You got
you don't
2
have
spares.
To give me one. I have 3 Qurans that my dad's own that are old as shit. You know what I mean? So I don't need another one. But don't come around me saying like, oh man, man, you should get under Allah. Because you know how many Muslims have come to be in my life trying to get me to convert to Islam, and I just look at these niggas like, no, get out of my face. I know what your plan is. It's the same plan that the Christians had. You're not, you know, like, you're just gonna try to get as many people to convert as possible, and then you're gonna fucking have mad power on the earth, and no one's gonna be able to do shit about it. Then we gotta deal with the Christians and you guys being annoying, talking about Jesus all the damn time. That's it.
It all comes down to Jesus.
To me. Yeah, don't come around me annoying me with all this Jesus shit, all this religion shit. Unless I come up to you and say like, yeah, you know, I'm interested. I want to convert to Scientology. Why not? If it's not that, then just leave it where it is. That's how I see it. Like,
I wonder if some people think of Snyder Cut people like that, you know, like the Jesus converters or something, you know.
Maybe so.
Give into the Snyder Cut; it will save your life.
I think we come with stronger points though.
Well, there's a difference.
Well, we come with equivalent points because.
Well, yeah.
And for example, a Christian would come in the sense of like, oh yeah, well if you don't repent, you know, you'll go to hell. You feel me? And you won't get to afterlife and all that cool shit. And then the Snyder Cut supporter would say, well if you don't want to see the Snyder Cut, then you're not a real DC fan. You should probably just stop talking about DC films altogether. Because I'm sitting here from my perspective, if you don't want to see a 3.5-hour Justice League film, and you're going to tell me that you love Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and all this other shit, I don't think I believe you.
You are right. You know what? God damn it, that is the truth. Seriously.
And then people get mad. They were like, what are you trying to say? I'm going to burn in hell because I don't believe what you believe? And then we be like, yeah, motherfucker. Exactly, you are going to burn in DC hell because you don't believe this, pretty much. That's pretty much where we're taking it. This is what
it's like, enjoy yourself, and guess what? It's a small world after all. Boom.
Like people just can't take ultimatums like that. Like, they're just not hardwired to. You had to pick between the Snyder Cut and, you know what I mean, your DC fan card. You think it would be an easy choice, just like you had to pick between everlasting afterlife or burning in a pit of hell. It seems quite equivalent to me from my perspective. At
Yeah,
least what I think.
it's pretty much like, okay, here's Snyder Cut, which is this uh, beautiful mango you can chew on, or there's this barbed wire you could swallow, pull out of your ass, and floss yourself to death with. Choice is yours.
But yeah,
This is
people
pretty
get mad at
simple, I think.
ultimatums like that because they're scared of barbed wire. Pretty much, is what it comes down to.
I am too. Fuck that. Ooh.
I don't even really think they use barbed wire like that anymore. Most fences are electrified now if they're really protecting anything.
No, I saw this legit, like, instead of barbed wire, this is in Sri Lanka when I was coming back driving through certain towns. But this, instead of barbed wire in front of this facility, they had a collection of broken glass just shooting up. It was like a stage from Mortal Kombat or something, just along the top. For real. It was like freaking, Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer when they broke all the bottles and da-da-da. This looked like a bunch of broken bottles just, or sharp pieces of glass, legit. Like physically made also coming up from on top. I was like, dang. That's worse than barbed wire.
Because barbed wire can get rust, it can get bent, and then in all honesty, you can grab that at a certain angle, and just really not cut yourself. You would really have to really gash yourself on, because it is barbed and it is sharp. But when it comes to glass, like what? You can touch that at the wrong angle and that shit'll cut you.
It'll cut deep and screw up a whole bunch of tissue. Not just a poke.
You ever break a piece of glass and then they go like, oh yeah, I'm about to clean it up, but then someone say to you like, oh man, you better watch yourself, you might cut yourself. Like, oh no, I'm good. And then as soon as you go for it, you just gas the shit out yourself. Like, as soon as your hand just goes for it, blood just starts squirting out your hand. Like, oh, what the fuck? Like, see, I told you, man. Like,
that sounds like a Kung Pao scene.
Nah, shit like that has happened to me before. Like, dead ass.
Oh man,
dead ass shit like that has happened to me. There's even one time
I believe it.
Up some guys, and I was being hella gentle, and that shit fucking poked me right at the top of my pinky finger, man. I'm like, oh, that shit ain't shit. I pulled the fucking glass out, and mad blood started coming out. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Dang.
And that shit started to hurt, and I was like, damn, god damn, because with glass shards, like. Some of those shits can be smaller than so small that the eye can't even see it.
I made a mistake a long time ago moving glass away just from broken glass from the ground, and I looked at my hand. I was like, why is my hand pink? Why am I sweating red? Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. that sounds like it fucking hurt.
And it started to only hurt when I moved it. I was like, oh dang, don't mess with glass.
Yeah, I would have cried.
Ain't no shame in that.
It's like my blood. Oh, you're live right now.
Oh yeah, I said.
I knew that.
Oh okay, just checking. I was like, oh no, I don't want to lie to you.
So what are you doing in DC?
Oh, I'm just messing around so we could talk. There's some missions I need to do that I don't care about for this per se character.
Some big titty Batgirl or some shit?
No, my cyborg Supergirl. It's pretty much it's like Supergirl and Cyborg.
Supergirl.
Yeah, Supergirl and Cyborg did like a Dragon Ball fusion, and that's his character.
I didn't know you were into that kind of stuff, Kojay. That's freaky.
Yeah, man, gotta spice it up.
Kojay's gonna have a robot girl in the future.
Nah, I like more the demon girls. I don't like the false cybernetics. No offense, Johnny Five.
The demon girls that will bite your dick off.
Oh no, not those. No, because you can only go in there once and never again. Shoot.
Yeah, because you probably die after that. So.
I know, right? That's the last thing you ever do.
You probably be dead as shit. No one really wants.
That's like a praying mantis, right? Ooh.
I'm not gonna, actually, one of my friends who, out of respect and actually more humiliation, I'm not gonna name. Because he'll be mad at me.
Alright.
He actually showed me a clip of a porno that he allegedly watched. I guess it was like an Exorcist parody porno.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was the priest. It didn't go up to the part of the priest fucking the demon girl, but it was the beginning. You feel me? Like where they're doing the parody party. You feel what I mean? And it was ridiculous. But I
Oh
will say
wow.
this: the special effects on the girl look just like the girl from The Exorcist.
Dang,
So
for real?
if
That's
that
kind of
helps, yeah,
That's
if that
so
helps
ugh.
for people that are sticklers for things like that, like, so she was faithful to the source material.
uh,
Past that, I don't know what happened, but apparently he watched it, and I guess she did throw up at some point.
dang. I only saw two, like the Marvel one with China as She-Hulk, and then I saw this this other
There's
one
a
that was
Marvel
supposed to.
porno with China as She-Hulk.
Yeah, it came out like what, many years ago. This is I think when she left WWE or sometime after that. But she was all painted up green, and she was with the Invisible Woman, who was not invisible ever, but whatever. And yeah, the rest is pretty self-explanatory. But yeah,
Wow.
um,
No,
and then
they produce pretty high budget superhero pornos nowadays.
for real,
I,
dang, I
I,
guess it is
I
a
don't know if you
market.
knew that.
No, I didn't. Like, do they
Yeah,
do
there
like
is.
DCEU and stuff? That's actually kind of
They do.
interesting.
They do all characters. I think they have
Wow.
one for Captain Marvel coming out soon.
Whoa. I
It was
remember
on
another one I
Twitter.
saw. Now the ones I'm talking about, how I saw, they're like the ones you had to buy at that special corner in the liquor store, and they give you this VHS tape that looks like it was used like 5 times, and they say it's brand new. You're like, okay, whatever. And then that you just watch it there. Then you hope to God no one finds your tapes. uh,
That sounds so dinosaur.
it is because that's how old it was when I watched those. And then one was like a remake, or its theme was like to do that Alfred Hitchcock one, uh, view from the one where the dude has his legs broken and he's just watching his neighbors and witnesses a murder. What's that one
Oh,
called? Some view something. I can't think of the name, but
I
you know what I'm
forgot the
talking
name of
about.
that one.
But yeah, I saw a version of that in the porn world. That was pretty. That was my favorite
That's
because that was
weird.
funny.
Wow, they just got 1,000 of these, huh?
Yeah, man. I guess.
What is the name of that film now? That's
It's not Lakeview Terrace because that's a totally different movie with Samuel
no,
Jackson.
it has a one word name. I think
Something View or.
Misery. Yeah, it's called Misery.
Oh really? Oh, so I was way off.
At least I'm pretty sure it's called Misery.
Huh.
That venom you're injecting, it will destroy you from the inside.
Yeah,
There's
Misery.
only one kind of strength, and it doesn't come from a drug. But until you come clean, you'll never know what that is.
Where the hell is this? How come I can't find any canisters? Oh, there's 2. Huh.
Yeah, that was a good ass movie though.
Which
But it was
one?
a good book too. Misery.
Yeah.
Not the porno.
No.
The actual film.
Yeah. The one that had effort.
Hey man, they put effort into those porns. Show some respect.
True that. I stand corrected. Bam! Got you. Need to arrest some Falcone guys, but where the fuck are the Falcones? Oh dang, that's why these guys are hogging up all the enemies. No wonder. Detox Avenger. Get off of drugs. Bam! So what you playing, or what you watching?
I'm actually not watching shit right now.
Just relaxing.
Yeah, didn't. Not really anything I want.
If you're ever interested in Korean cinema, I know a few suggestions. Oh dang! Oh, there he is.
What's with you in Korean cinema? You know I don't speak Korean.
Neither do I. Well, I'm practicing, but before that, I just at first it started with Dragon Ball Z and Jackie Chan, because the only way to watch those movies at the time was to go to the Asian store. So I would get them there, and they were always subtitled. So I just got used to it and watched all my Dragon Ball Z and everything that way. And then after a while, I got into like the period pieces, with swords and martial arts. So specifically cops and robbers and martial arts, or swords and fantasy with martial arts. That was my jam. And then I noticed a bunch of that was being made in Korea, so then I just kind of got stuck in that way. And then I got into a Korean director who did like a Watchmen kind of Zack Snyder-ish type of comic book movie off of a manga, Old Boy. That one is amazing. That's some good shit. And then I was sold. Yeah, man. Even in Winter Soldier, some knife fights, it looked like they.
The guy who directed Old Boy is Korean.
The original Old Boy, not the remakes from India or America.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, cool.
I didn't even know there was an Indian version.
Yeah, it was actually done without permission, so the director got sued by the Korean director and company, and he has yet to make another film in India. But
wait, what?
Yeah, like this Indian company got sued by a Korean company for like copying their movie without permission, which is something that goes on unpoliced in Asia a lot, but it was kind of cool to hear it get policed that one time.
So they're saying the dude who did that can't make movies anymore.
Well, I haven't seen him make a movie since, so I'm like, dang, I think he got spanked hard.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah, but even like The Departed, that's all copied off of a Chinese film I saw like as it came out, so that movie didn't really impress me that much. I mean, it was cool for America.
It was an official remake, so.
Nah, it was a remake of the whole trilogy, not a particular movie. So they did some leeway with incorporating all three movies into one. So that was kind of interesting.
But that's still lame though. But at the end of the day, that's how they wanted to get it done in the American sense.
Mm-hmm.
Scorsese wasn't gonna, make 3 Departed movies.
Oh no. Dang, I missed that. But I liked it, because then that adds a little difference to both of them. You know what I mean?
Scorsese was like, no sequels.
No sequels. I don't do sequels. Oh, I haven't decided these yet.
You know what annoys me too?
What's that, man?
That James Cameron just won't fucking this fucking end Terminator already, or just make another one. But I keep getting all these fucking these doofy ass motherfuckers to like, I don't know, make movies that you should be making. You just want to sit around and fucking make Avatar.
Right? Wait, didn't he have some stuff to do with Alita? Battle Angel?
Yeah, he did. He was gonna make that too. And Alita's a great film, but it probably would have been better, and it probably would have made more money if James Cameron actually directed it.
That's true.
Because in reality, nobody fucking likes Robert Rodriguez that much.
Which is
I know I don't.
unfortunate because he's all right.
And in my
I mean,
honest
I don't
opinion,
follow him. Always, man. Always the honesty.
I I
Oh,
I think
there they
I
are.
think that I think that Robert Rodriguez is a poor man of Zack
Mmm.
Snyder. And I felt like why would I be like Robert Rodriguez or really be into him if I can just watch Zack Snyder's movies that are better.
That's honestly now a lot of my friends don't understand why I watch a lot of directors I like so much, like Zack Snyder and a few others, is because not a lot of
I
people
mean,
do what they do. Like what one person does good in a movie, that's great, but the techniques are very similar or identical to another ones of another film of a different genre, even. Like I want like
yeah, that's why I
a
liked Alita
tone.
though,
Yeah,
because
Alita was
because
solid.
that film had a lot of elements. And you can also say that that's because it was also produced by James Cameron too, but it had a lot of elements that I feel like you'll find in a Zack Snyder film.
Mhm.
And I also felt like if Zack Snyder directed that film would have been better. But
Oh, dude, yeah.
that's neither here nor there. But
I want
you
Zack
know,
Snyder to direct like a live action version film of like my favorite anime. That'd like make me so happy. Ooh.
would it have made more money or been more? I mean, but yeah, it probably would have because Zack Snyder would have been able to get more hype behind it,
Mhm.
and that's what I mean. Like nobody really, it's like
Without
big films
trying,
like,
he
oh man,
creates hype, bro.
like Alita Battle Angel is coming out. And it's like, oh yeah, word, I'm producing it, not directing. Oh, and then it comes out like produced by James Cameron. Ah, directed by Robert Rodriguez. It's like a bummer.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
only Spielberg can get away with that sometimes.
I mean, I don't even like Spielberg. I actually think Spielberg's one of the most overrated filmmakers in fucking history.
As a
And
person who
and
wants to do film, I've never
he
been.
honestly turned into the filmmaker that the type of person or filmmaker I thought he would be in the future.
Mm.
Now he's just a gatekeeper, trying to tell people how film should be made and how film should be watched and blah 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 blah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I'm Steven Spielberg, and this is how I did it. And I'm just trying to act like I'm not trying to gatekeep, so guys like me stay on top, and independent filmmakers can't have a chance to fucking break into the industry. It's like,
That
come on,
is
man.
a whole lot of
It's the
truth,
truth.
homie.
It's the
That's the
truth.
truth.
You feel me?
That is. I felt
It's
you
like
before you said it.
let's be honest. Like in my mind, Steven Spielberg is on a like I guess you is at a very low list for our directors. Like there's still George Lucas that's way above him in my mind. There's still Stanley Kubrick that's way above him. There's still so many directors from his time, John Carpenter, even all that. So that like I just like their films more. Like, I don't go back and watch any of Steven Spielberg's films ever.
I asked
I
someone
don't.
what is the appeal to Steven Spielberg, and then someone told me, this is in film school too. Uh, they said, well, Steven Spielberg is so good because he knows how to surround himself with a lot of great people. And I was like, great, that sounds like a producer. That's what a producer should do.
That's essentially what he is.
He's a great producer, I think.
He's a producer. Like
He's a
that's
producer
why
director.
you don't have to go to film school, film studies to find this shit out. Like, now why
Mm-hmm.
do you think fucking J.J. Abrams acts the way he does?
Mm-hmm.
Because of Steven Spielberg. J.J. Abrams is just Steven Spielberg light, and that's why I don't like fucking J.J. Abrams as much as people try to throw on J.J. Abrams like, oh, he's the greatest. He's not. A lot of things that he produced weren't that great. Some of them had shining moments. A lot of the movies he directed were not that great. They just say it outright. He surrounds himself with popular people. You feel me? Or talented people. You feel what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He produces. You feel what I mean? IPs that could pop off, but they might not. You feel he does the say he's just riding Steven Spielberg's coattails. Like that's why they're giving he's literally the next Steven Spielberg. Like they're literally giving him that because that's what he wanted. That's what he did. Like, oh, we need another guy that's young to take Steven Spielberg's spot. Just give it to JJ because he sucks Steven Spielberg's dick all day. Yeah. Even like damn near all majority of his first movies come off like Steven Spielberg movies.
That's true.
Even Super 8 is just a glorified Steven Spielberg movie. Like a lot of the movies he even made and how his style is just an updated, modernized version of how Steven Spielberg would shoot a film. Like hey, man, even the way he comes at producing and all that, like, oh, I'm gonna put my name on this, put my name on that, produce this, and really have no hand in anything. Like,
damn.
You know, I'm trying to tell you, like, and even on top of that, like, J.J. Abrams produces Mission Impossible. You feel me? With the Bad Robot, like, you know, and a lot of people are throwing a lot of, you know, happiness over the fact that, you know, like, oh, J.J. Abrams, he might come over, you know, and help the DCU, help Snyder, and
oh man, I heard that. What help? Snyder don't need no help.
Like, does anybody know that, you feel me, that Jeff Johns produced the Mission Impossible films with J.J. Abrams, specifically Mission Impossible 3?
Oh wow.
Because I've known that for a long time.
I didn't know that. Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, what? Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of iffy things going on where it's like nah, man, like I was never really off JJ, but even past him, I back to Spielberg. Like I just think there's a list of directors I can name from Spielberg's era that was better than Spielberg, in my opinion. Like,
would you say some people are trying to move chess pieces around to get their people in certain places and purposely do things to keep other people out, like Snyder?
Would I say that? Yes, of course, obviously. The problem with people in not only in our fandom, but in fandoms in general, and like, you know, comic book fandoms, or just in general, just people in general. As Lex Luthor said, you feel me? Motherfuckers just be too damn small-minded about everything. Sure. And like, for one thing, like, people have this belief that WB is doing everything by the books at this studio. Meanwhile, a few weeks ago, they came out with a report saying that Disney is cooking the books for more than $6 billion. And people have been saying that for years now about how it's real funny and shady how all these Disney movies are coming out and they're blowing and they're popping off and these shits is trash. Nobody likes them, nobody's seeing them, they're making $1 million. But that's a side note, so I want you to keep that in mind. On the flip side of that, we have WB. WB is a studio too, it's a corporation too. Like, do you think that they don't do shady things over there? That everything is like they're just a bunch of goody two shoes fucking bureaucrats?
Hell no, especially after everything's gone down.
You know, yeah, you think there's not power plays and you feel me, power struggles, and you feel what I mean? People trying to get promotions even down to that. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like people don't look at that shit from a certain, like, people only protect themselves when it comes to Hollywood and shit like that. Like, you feel me? So even if a few people back Snyder, you feel what I mean? You gotta think about all the people, you feel me, who saw it in their benefit, you feel what I mean, to not have Snyder there to make these DCEU films. Or like one thing, like pretty much like all the directors there now outside of Todd Phillips. Because I will give Todd Phillips this. I could be wrong, but his film was gonna come out regardless. You feel me, of whatever happened. You feel me, with the Snyder Cut or whatever. You know, whether it came out and everything was cool, whether it came to be in the timeline that we're in right now, where everything happened the way it did. But that film was still always gonna come out. But you have to look at a lot of these other people. You feel what I mean? In the play, like, you feel me, like Ava DuVernay, Patty Jenkins. I know people don't want to really put any slack because, you know, toxic fandom. Like, oh man, you guys are being smart and using your head about film and thinking too much into stuff. You're being toxic. Like, stop being smart. Stop reading in between the lines. It's like, it's so... It's
like,
it's
why
so
you guys have to be
the
so
point,
serious?
It's like, because it's like, now it's getting to the point now, you be like, all right, it's kind of obvious that they're distancing themselves from the DCEU and what Snyder set up because fuck Snyder. People said, "Oh man, you're being so toxic. The DCU is still the same, and it's gonna stay true to Snyder's vision." And da da da. Like, what are you talking about? You just sound like a little baby. It's like, let's talk about it for what it really is. Do these people have an interest to have fucking Snyder there? I don't think so. You got Patty Jenkins there. She wants to go into Linda Carter direction. You got Ava DuVernay there. She's quadruple faced. Black people don't even trust her. So who knows what the fuck she's about to do with these guys?
It's a mess, dog. It's a mess. It's a hodgepodge mess.
I am genuinely scared for what could possibly come out the new guys movie. I am. I'll be honest on that.
I don't like the whole thing around it because I feel New Gods is more recent.
We're not going to stay on that though. Then we got to go to Jeff Johns. Got Titans coming in. Every episode he's jacking shit from the Snyder Cut. It's like everything from the Snyderverse. He's just ripping. You feel what I mean? Like, would this guy have shit to rip off from if Snyder was still making these films? Maybe so, because there would be more films. But shit, would Snyder be letting him rip off his shit if he's making these films or working, in the middle of doing this shit right then and there? Hell fucking no. He'd go over there like, motherfucker, you see me over here making Justice League 1, making Justice League 2, making Justice League 3, and you over here making fucking Titan and stealing all my shit and putting it in your shit. Don't make me come over and slap the shit out your ass.
Like, fuck it, man.
But
shit.
Since Snyder's not working on the DCEU films right now, he doesn't really have a need to slap the shit out of Jeff Johns' ass right now. Jeff Johns is just picking at the legendary films that Snyder had already put out. And so are so many other people. They're also doing it in Batman. So this is a thing that I personally feel like, even with James Gunn, like, it's like, I don't think James Gunn holds any allegiance to Snyder or anything he set up and said in the universe. Like,
no, they're friends. They're casual friends.
I don't give a fuck that they're friends. I think he sees this as his opportunity. We're talking and dealing with people, that understand power dynamics. People that are millionaires.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, let's stop. That's why I said let's stop thinking small with this shit. Where James Gunn like, oh yeah, that Snyder's my friend. I'll definitely get a beer with him, but I can't drink it. I'm alcoholic. Oh, I was like, no, man. Cool, but like, are you going to honor what he set up? Do you have his back though? Are you going to help get the Snyder Cut out? Has he said like, oh yeah, they should release the Snyder Cut? That's really your homie. Why don't you say that?
That's so true.
Snyder obviously wants the Snyder Cut. That's your homie, right, James Gunn? Should say something, right?
Hell yeah, you got. Damn, that's a goddamn.
like, come on, man. It's like that could be his homie, but will it benefit him to say something about it? Probably not. So people have to start being honest about these things. Stop like kind of lying to themselves. I don't trust any.
It's kind of like false hope, huh?
Yeah, I don't like the direction of where any of this is going, personally.
I don't like the feel. There's a bad feeling, and I was talking to another friend of mine.
Pattinson playing
got the
Batman,
same thing.
and they're trying to hype us up so hard off it. And I'm not hyped. Like, oh yeah, new Batman trilogy coming. Oh yeah, more Batman. It's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, there's like fucking 9 Batman movies I can watch. There's like fucking 23 animated Batman movies I can watch. You know what? Batman v Superman exists. I own Batman the animated series. I can watch it anytime I want. All the episodes and the fucking movies. I don't fucking care. Like, yo, what the fuck? I'm not hyped for another young Batman trilogy. I don't know why you're like, everyone's like, oh man, well, Nolan trilogy. That's why I say, man, people give me a lot of shit for shitting on Nolan and the Nolan trilogy, because he did do some good things and it was successful. And
yeah, but I love your points because
he solidified DC being dark. He could have made a Batman Brave and the Bold, and they would have ate it up. Come on, let's just be honest. He could have fucked everything to shit, and they would have ate it up only because it was the only Batman movie that any of us has had since Batman being Batman and Robin. So, but it's like, I still feel like Nolan helped dig our graves in some senses.
Like
Because
accepting
Nolan,
limitations and spots.
no, Nolan
No?
opened the door to anybody feeling like they can just come in and say fuck it, whatever. I can just do whatever the fuck I want with any DC IP property because fuck it, whatever. Nolan, you saw what Nolan did, right? It was so cool, so modernized and progressive. Joker was wearing face paint. You feel me? Scarecrow was corny. Like it's like, come on, man. Like, Pete,
Right?
stop lying to me. Stop lying to me and stop. I know, like, I've been to DC my whole life. I was there. Stop lying to me like motherfuckers didn't change and shift shit up and just as soon as the Nolan trilogy came out, all of a sudden, you feel me? They start. Joker has no origin now. You feel me?
I
All
was
of a
like,
sudden,
what?
Ra's al Ghul is white. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
all
and
this
Bane
shit
was
that
white too.
yeah, all this shit that they even in some sense is trying to drag into the comics. Like Batman's dealing with no metahumans. It's extra bland and boring, man. It's fucking boring. It's fucking boring.
That's true,
Damn,
dog.
like think of that shit was boring to me. Like think about the amount of Batman we got in BVS was epic compared to fucking from the Dark Knight. The Troll
And it gave
trilogy,
us
like
so
we had
much.
fucking Batman at
Ooh,
fucking
Saitama.
Russian Bruce Wayne at Russian back room fights and all that shit. He's going to get up against KG Beast and all this shit. It's like, come on, man. You feel me? He's in the Batmobile. It's like, come on, man. That shit didn't have any of that shit. It just didn't. It wasn't like it's like I accepted in the sense like, all right, this is Batman because it's Batman. It's a suit. Commissioner Gordon's here. All the characters were set up nicely in the sense that like, yeah, all right. You feel me? It is faithful in that sense, but like, man, like because of that, now we're gonna have films like Joker. You feel what I mean? And they're gonna give
Yeah.
DC fans a lot of shit for that because we're gonna see that and we're gonna think it's cool. And they're like, oh my god, you guys like all this fucking white violence and mass shooter movies and all this other shit. It's like, man, god damn it! Now we can't even just watch a fucking DC movie.
Right? It's gonna come to that. You're
Like,
gonna see it.
And then they're gonna make another Batman trilogy that has nothing to do with anything. It's not gonna be connecting anything. Like it's not gonna
Just
be
gonna ignore
connected
everybody.
to BVS. They're just setting up the lines and the pins just to do another type Nolan verse type. Like they know, man. Because this is what people have to look at it with Batman. People try to push the lie with the Batman live actions, the first live action films. Like, oh yeah, they were so successful, and they were, but they weren't because they were all over the place, and because of that, people stopped taking them seriously in the long run. You feel me? Like after what I think Keaton was also in Batman Forever, right?
No, that was Val Kilmer.
Yeah, no, yeah. So no, Batman Returns. Batman Returns. My apologies.
Yeah,
That's the
Batman
second one.
Returns.
I always get. Yeah, it was like after that, it's like y'all were just getting fucking anybody to play Batman. You feel what I mean? It's like the tone was out the window. Like the only thing that really can. It's because we believe that it's all one story and it's canon. It's not. It isn't really. It isn't really. If you really want to be honest, the Batman from Batman '89 and Batman Returns is not the same Batman from Batman Forever, and Batman after that is not the same Batman from the other two Batman. WB will tell you like, oh man, they're all things, they're connected, and they'll have small hints and references of things that
Just because Alfred's the same damn actor in every movie and Commissioner Gordon, that's not enough.
It's not. It's like the tone is all over the place. You feel me? It canonically
No
makes
continuity.
no sense. You have Tim Burton even saying that this is not connected to my movies. Tim Burton said that. Like, come on, like, so it's like, so we're gonna keep pushing this lie that
No, because
the first four
even as a
Batman
kid,
movies,
I thought it was a reboot with Batman Forever because they changed Harvey Dent from Billy D. Williams to Tommy Lee Jones. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, they rebooted it. Kind of like, how, okay, we get the different villain in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, the Lizard that we were going to get in Spider-Man 4, but we decided to reboot, but we're still going to use a different villain, just switch it up. So I took it as like, oh, they rebooted it with Batman Forever. And I thought Batman Robin was the sequel to Batman Forever.
In a sense, you can say it was a soft reboot and
It's a
because
bitch ass reboot,
you
man.
have to realize that they viewed these films as one-offs in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
These films are one-offs. You feel me? Like it's like Batman '89, boom, Joker's dead. That's it, one-off. It's over. Why you think they killed Joker at the end? Next one, boom. You know, Batman Returns, Penguin's dead. It's
Mm-hmm.
over. You feel what I mean? Same thing with all the films. Like they're all essentially one-off. They connect in the sense of how it may be in the sense of how comic books connect,
Mm-hmm.
where
They're all separate stories, but they happen in some weird timeline.
exactly it's almost like with crossovers in the sense where it's like, all right, let's say in Superman's comic, you feel me, some building like Daily Planet gets destroyed or something, like, you know, Daily
Mm-hmm.
Planet gets destroyed in Superman's comic, so it's not there. Whatever, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
For in all his comic runs. But then in the crossover that he has, let's say with, you know, Batman or something, why not? You feel me? Who cares?
Yeah.
Just an example.
Like you do.
When they're in Metropolis, Daily Bugle would be there, and it wouldn't be acknowledged. It would not even be acknowledged at all that it was ever destroyed.
Oh, you mean
And,
Daily
like,
Planet?
Yeah, the Daily Planet. Yeah, it would be there now, but then when the crossover is over, the Daily is going to be gone again. You know, like it's one of those things like that where the continuity only folds over so far, and for like common and like crossovers, they kind of give like a blank slate. You feel me? So it doesn't affect the internal story going on in the crossover. Well, back in the day, this is how they used to do this at least. And then when characters would go back to like, you know, their own comics, you feel me? It would go back to the continuity in their comics. In that sense, like the films kind of connect in that type of sense. Like, you know what I mean? Where they're connected in a sense where it's like they're one-offs, but you can say that these are all one-offs in like the life of Batman. You feel me? From different perspectives, maybe. But it didn't. It didn't lie, and Batman and Robin was just a dud ending. Like, to start it off the way Batman '89 started, it was a proper beginning. There was never a proper ending.
There's no
So that
set ending.
that leads me to, and because you can see what they were trying to do. That what WB was trying to do was kind of treat Batman like James Bond.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And I hope they
essentially
would,
what were
because
trying to do.
I was hoping just for more movies. I was like, all right, this one sucked. Maybe the next one will be better. But then they could just give up.
But that wasn't gonna work in the long run, like, cause they were plans to bring back Clooney, and they were actually real close to doing it until they ultimately decided to say fuck that shit, and then a few years later they went with Nolan's Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
But they were gonna bring back, I think they were gonna bring back Clooney and Joel Schumacher.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and he was gonna do a darker take on the he's pretty much gonna do a dark Batman movie with George Clooney to kind of like try to redeem himself for the other Batman movies.
I guess he got cocky with Phone Booth. People who like that one. It was actually decent.
But that's pretty much what happened. So,
Yeah.
but like I said, to go to the Nolan trilogy, like that's why I feel like everybody just ate up the Nolan trilogy so much, because they finally have a coherent live action Batman trilogy that for the most part makes sense.
Right?
It's Elseworlds bullshit in my mind. Even the
It is
ending,
very Elseworlds.
it's very Elseworld bullshit. The third movie ends.
He was in Batman
it's
for
like-
long.
I'm like, yeah,
Was he Batman for like 6 months?
if you actually break down the amount of time that he was actually active as Batman up to the point when he retired, it's honestly pathetic. It's like, this dude's not Batman. He was like Batman for like 2 years, and he was fucking like retired for a fucking long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came back for like 6 months. That was it.
Right?
Yeah, it's like he wasn't like.
I heard
like,
one friend defend it, saying that it's humanly impossible to be able to maintain such a
I know
job. And I'm like, yeah, but guess what? It's inhuman impossible to be Batman regardless.
Yeah, they had a douchey, pretentious excuse. He didn't even make it a year. The fuck? What the fuck? Like, what the hell, man? Like, and that's why it's like that's why I feel like they're gonna use that as a template of how to do the next trilogy. Because that's the only real trilogy they have to go off of, besides the comics.
They would have had Justice League, but nope.
I'm sure they'll let Matt Reeves do whatever he wants. But
there's some people they bend over backwards for a while.
Yeah, they're gonna make sure that he stays within those Nolan-verse boundaries. And to be like, it has to. They're probably bringing up Nolan to him all the time. Like, oh man, Nolan. Like, oh man, this looks. Yeah, I feel good about this. This reminds me of when I was making the Batman films with Nolan. This one's gonna be a hit, Reeves. Nolan. and Reeves probably just sitting there like, oh yeah, Nolan.
They probably said, hey, good to see you, Chris. It was like, my name is not Chris. Go at it, Nolan. It's like, I am oh, fuck you guys. He doesn't even know his own name at one point. They keep calling him different things. Watch his director's chair says like Christopher Nolan or something. He's like, oh,
like
Heath
Ledger won an Oscar for Joker. You feel me? So you don't think that was in WB's mindset when they decided to greenlight the Joker solo film? And on top of that, they went with the same type of archetype of a Joker.
They go back on what they think works.
That's why that's why a lot of fans, a lot of people are annoyed by the Joker film, because it's like, yo, you didn't even really go for like you use different face paint. You really didn't even try to go for like kind of like, or like, you know, a real original or more standard look for the nigga. You feel what I mean? You literally just went with the Heath Ledger look. It automatically brings you back to Ledger, and that's on purpose. I guarantee. Don't ever think that's not on purpose. They want you to have that same feeling you had, you feel me, watching Ledger's Joker. And they might even say, you feel me, that, you know, Joaquin's Joker is the better Joker now, the best Joker after this. Like, just like they've been saying that Heath's Joker was the best Joker, which you can say is arguable.
And I remember it getting shit before people even saw him perform. You know?
Yeah.
How fast
rightfully so.
Change. Yeah.
Rightfully
like,
so.
Y'all
based on how the first film was handled.
Mm-hmm.
I will kill you, but I don't have to save you. When I first heard
For me, I thought
like,
that was dark as hell, and I was shocked that no one even called Batman out on that. I said, wow, I guess no one cares.
Yeah, like,
that was huge, dude. Batman's always like saving people at the last minute.
Just gonna kill Ra's, no remorse for like Batman would never do that.
Batman is filled with
Batman
remorse.
Batman wouldn't leave Ra's al Ghul to die. He would save his ass and he'd rub it in his fucking face like, ha, I beat you, bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, exactly. That's more Batman.
That was Batman. And then Ra's will run off with his tail between his legs. Like, I felt like they definitely dropped the ball there a lot, that what was supposed to represent kind of in those aspects Batman's character when it came to certain characters. But then in the next movie, he fucking saves Joker though, falling off a building. Right? After Joker is responsible for killing Rachel, who he regarded above all other human beings, probably closer to his parents. So how does that even make sense? What happened? What happened to the... I won't kill you, but I'll have to save you.
I know, right?
What happened to that? What happened to that energy? You're not consistent, man.
It's not consistent.
It's not consistent, like.
Maybe I'll kill you like, this one time.
Yeah. Maybe I'll kill you this one time.
Next time, I won't be so nice. It's like, Batman, what are you talking about? I don't know.
They had some funny ass lines in that movie. And another thing I didn't like either, RBG, is that fucking Batman's walking around the whole fucking trilogy talking about hope and shit, like hope. Batman gives people hope. Like, nigga, no, it's not, no. That's
Why
not
are you trying to take the Superman thing, right?
Yeah, you're taking Superman's thing. That's Superman's thing.
And he gets a Superman statue, and he's all
and he
friendly
said
with
it
the cops.
he said it so much, like hope. Like, no, that's not your thing.
I thought the movie got corny when Batman was talking to Joker, and when he's like, and I know it's towards the end, he's like, maybe you didn't realize the capacity for people to believe in good. I was like, for real, man? For real? Am I hearing this? I mean, is Tommy the Green Ranger gonna come up around the corner? Cause I feel he's ready, dog. He's ready. He's like, yeah. What do you say about that, Saba? Aye, correct, master. Ooh. And then cue the music. White Ranger, Tiger Power.
Yeah,
and all that, man.
It's morphin' time.
Yeah, let's get it on.
There was no way you're gonna beat the combined forces of me and Batman Joker.
You realize Batman only has like one syllable? Everyone's like, Saber-tooth tiger, Mastodon, Bat. And then transform. He's like, Bat.
That is true though. Like, that line could have been better.
Yeah, that line, and it was so crazy because I was in it for the whole movie. Then after that, that point and onwards for me, that's when I started going, oh, this movie could have been better ending. I felt like
and
it
then they kill Two-Face at the end.
Yeah, someone he has compassion for and say something.
Then what does Batman say? Like, oh man, what did we do? He said we can't let the people find out or see nothing like this.
And he's all like,
what does Batman say? Batman's like, tell me it was me.
I killed those men.
I killed him. Like, no, duh, you did kill him. We know. It's your fault.
Right? It's not like he was lying. And then the third one to say that he was lying, I was like, ah.
Yeah, he makes it seem like he made it seem like it wasn't his fault.
I was like, dude,
don't worry.
I
know.
Roman Reigns speared him off the top of the building. I mean, he was accidentally there. I was actually going for the gun. And then I tripped on my cape.
Don't you think it was like the classic moment for, that thing called, what is that thing called? Damn. What is that shit? Oh yeah, the Batarang.
That's like his key weapon. It's in every game. It's reliable. It doesn't miss unless you're in a Lego movie. It's very accurate. And he's a fucking ninja. Oh my god, where'd that all go away?
And then with the third one, I feel
dude, the third one got.
I feel the same way about the Dark Knight Rises is the same way I feel about Arkham Knight. I already know how this is gonna go. I already know how this is gonna end, and I know who the bad guy is. And I'm very disappointed that you guys didn't do something more original.
Dang.
I knew that they were gonna tie Bane into the fucking League of Shadows. I knew Talia al Ghul was gonna be the main bad guy at the end to bring it full circle back to Rise al Ghul.
I was disappointed they brought in League of Shadows.
Yeah, the only people that don't know that are fucking dumbass casuals and shit that don't really know much about Batman, which is fine, but
they could have their cliff notes.
There knew that. Yeah, like it was so incredibly obvious. Like I was like watching this movie, I'm like, wow, there goes Talia. She's Talia. And they gassed it up all the way to the end. And they really did, I'll give them this, they really did drag it out very far to the end. They dragged it out so far to the end till they admit that she's Talia al Ghul.
Yeah.
They drag it out pretty close to they actually because they knew it was just like, man, like,
I
come
was
on,
actually
like,
hoping that they could have gone an interesting route. Instead of having a villain, why not have a situation like you remember the earthquake that hit Gotham that screwed up everything, and then there was like it was like a no man's land or whatever. I forgot what it's called,
oh yeah,
Cataclysm or something. That would have been a cool movie for the Nolan universe, you know. And then you could take the gloves off and bring in the underworld up to the surface or something. Maybe do something with Deadshot. That'd be sick.
yeah. Like I said, it's for the same way about Arkham Knight, where they gas it up. So who's the Arkham Knight? Can you guess who it is? I wonder who. It's Jason Todd. We know.
You know,
Stop gassing it.
it's funny because when I was working at Target at the time, and you know, I worked in electronics selling games, and one of my buddies, he got this game. He's like, dude, look, this is the villain. I was like, oh, who's that? It's like, that's the other Batman. That's the Arkham Knight. And I was like, what's he doing? He's doing this. Blah, blah. He's like, it's so crazy. He's taking the law in his own hands. He's like Punisher, but he's got a mask. I was like, huh. I bet you that's probably wouldn't it be funny if that was Jason Todd, like I said jokingly? And it's like, dude, how'd you know? I was like, wait, it is? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
It was like so casual, dude.
It's so obvious.
I didn't try.
It's so, and I haven't even.
Therefore, I didn't play the
even
game.
beat the game yet. So obvious. It's like, yo. So I didn't even. That's why I didn't even play the game for so fucking long. Cause I was mad disappointed that they. I'm like, really? You guys are gonna end it with the Jason Todd storyline? Like, oh my god. Oh. Just running the Jason Todd storyline into the ground, like, and in the game, all the other villains are fucking side character as fuck. Like,
dang,
like,
for real?
Yes.
Dang.
It's a good. It's still a. It's still
At
a
least
good
have
game
him be
to
a
enjoy
boss
the
of a certain
Batman
region,
games.
you know?
What I just didn't like about it is just that, like, they tried to do a mean misdirect, and it would have been cool if it was actually not Jason Todd and not the fucking obvious answer.
You know who would have been cool? I don't know if you remember this character. He's not that popular. He's only had like 3 comic appearances, like real important ones. But his name is Anarchy. He's got this like.
Oh yeah, I know Anarchy.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool if it was Anarchy in some shape or form?
Anarchy.
Like Anarchy's son.
Anarchy was actually. He was in one of the Batman games.
Oh, for real? Sick.
I think he was in either Arkham Origins or Arkham.
Because I have the
Asylum,
2-part comic
Arkham
series
City.
Where Anarchy returns, and then Batman goes to the real guy. He's like, hey, you know, I thought you gave it up, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, I did, it's not me. It's like, okay. Then he goes back and sees the guy again, because he noticed something was weird when he faced Anarchy, and he finds out that it was his kid posing as him the whole time.
Yeah, Anarchy wasn't one of the Batman games.
Wow.
But it's like, I just feel like I'm getting that same feeling. I'm getting that same feeling from this Matt Reeves Batman movie.
I'm not getting a good vibe from it, because I feel like, alright, when New 52
I'll be
rolled...
honest, man.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm ready for a Batman TV show.
You know what? That'd be sick. What's wrong with that?
Get
That's
off
what
the movies.
That's
I'm
what
ready for a Batman TV show
Right?
on
Oh.
HBO Max or something.
That's
You
what
know,
put him
make
on the
it-
map.
Base it off of, you know, Batman the animated series or something. It doesn't even have to be like the DCU or anything.
Or continue from Gotham.
Yeah, like no, no, definitely not. I don't want to see
No.
that. I want to see Batman. I want it to be his own new thing. You feel what I mean? So we can just have this one guy just play Batman for like 5, 8, 10 seasons, however long, and just get the shit in the can.
I mean, they did with
I don't
Superman.
wanna-
I thought Tom Welling did a great job.
But that was technically still a Superboy show, like.
You think so? Like too much of a origin story to be officially Superman?
No, he never wore the suit, so it was still a
true.
Superboy show.
And it was like a half-ass suit too. He wore like a t-shirt under, and then they CGI'd the whole thing with some weird. It was like the opposite of the Shazam. Where in Shazam, they cut off Superman's head. When you see Tom Welling in the suit, they cut off his body, and you just see his head and CG everywhere. That was weird.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. But yeah, I get it. Like, oh damn, Batman makes so much money at the box office, but I don't even care at this point.
Yeah, they're just thirsty, dog. And then, oh yeah, what I was saying is like when
Y'all fucked up Batman on screen enough, man. Y'all just running Batman and Joker into the goddamn ground, like
that's all you got.
It's like for real.
And those people are made by pioneer, like trailblazing choices to get them where they are. Not per se the characters themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're missing that. They think it's the product. It's like, no, it's the brains behind the product.
No, it is. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because in reality, the Dark Knight trilogy would have been even worse if it didn't have, you know, I think it was Nolan's brother and Goyer and shit who were working on it, who were the actual Batman fans. Nolan was not and didn't know shit about Batman at all. Like, and there were so many things, and like that's why they pretty much went for the face paint no origin Joker in the Dark Knight, because in Nolan's mind, well, we can just skip over all that comic book shit.
Sure, right?
Skip over all that comic book shit. So what I mean, just to get straight to the point. Throw some face paint on him. Throw him in purple. Don't matter where he came from. Make it mysterious. And now you feel me, like, and that's where all that shit stems from. You feel me? Nolan originally didn't even want Scarecrow to wear a mask. Think about that.
No, he made him take it off like as any time he could, you know. Like, I don't know, maybe it's that European actor's beautiful eyes.
He didn't want Scarecrow to wear the mask at all in the movie.
See, I have a problem with heroes who are known to be characters who are known to be masked, and then I see him on the screen unmasked all the time. I don't like that. That's stupid. That's selfish for the actor or whatever. That destroys the magic in a way, you know. And I give props to freaking Judge Dredd for leaving the mask on, but I don't like how I copied the Raid. But when you see the Trinity, you don't see Ben Affleck's mask off. You see Batman. Whenever I see fucking Iron Man, his mask is always off.
Yeah.
I had to get Civil War, the 3D version, just because the cover had Iron Man with his mask on. That was pissing me off. I wanted Iron Man with his mask on. I'm like, I liked Iron Man.
Not looking at it in a marketing sense, where if you have Captain America on the front, you can see his face and shit. Then, of course, Tony Stark wants his, Robert Downey Jr. wants his face to be seen too. And that's why I do think it's sad that people did actually get behind Robert Downey Jr. and boost him back up to, superstardom, because dude is still a complete douche, and like that was the whole reason why he got blackballed out of fucking Hollywood anyway, because he was he was a douchebag cokehead that was sucking dick all the damn time.
And then he got back into the coke, but no one questions it because he's Robert Downey Jr. It's like, wow, how'd you get this name power all over again?
Because he pretty much went back to doing what he was doing before. Like, I didn't get fooled by this guy. Like, I wasn't fooled by him. Like, Robert
See, that's
Downey
where I don't
Jr.
like when people come clean when it benefits them, and then when they don't need to be clean, they can get away with it. They go back to being dirty. I don't appreciate that. I don't trust that. I mean,
because with him, it's like they needed somebody that was a douche like fucking like Tony Stark. Let's be honest, man. Tony Stark is a fucking douchebag in the comics. He
has been.
He's probably the worst.
When I was reading it,
dickhead.
When I was reading it, he was more Bruce Wayne. He was more nice, and he was helping Warbird get over alcoholism, and he was really cool. And that's the time I was reading him. That was like late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, that didn't last.
That didn't last.
That's what everybody goes back to. Before
and then
that,
that's
he was
the guy
a douche,
I liked in.
And then after that, he was a douche. He's always the center of all the problems in the Marvel universe half the time. You feel me? He's essentially just Lex Luthor. If Lex Luthor was in the Marvel universe, he would be a good guy, and he would be pretty much Iron Man. He would be Tony Stark.
Tony Stark and Lex Luthor, they're the same guy, really.
They're really exactly. They don't act the same, but they're essentially the same guy.
Well, because they
how they come off, like
yeah, they respond to their environment, and then Lex Luthor is in a world where he has all the power and he feels powerless, and then Tony Stark is, his power is not really in question, so he can kind of be a little bit more lenient to be nice or in this fucked up way. It's just different.
it's
By
not
the
really
environment.
that. They're just both dicks.
Yeah, that's true.
Like dude, they come around like, oh man, I'm the smartest man in the world. I'm a billionaire. I'm gonna do this, inspire on you, and come up with all these fucking weird ass science experiments in my lab and extort money and blah blah blah. And you can't stop me because I'm a billionaire.
Damn.
And that Tony Stark does the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pretty much what it comes down to. Like, that's why they got RDJ to play Tony Stark. You feel? Because they're like, oh man,
he doesn't have to act.
Back, and they could pay him chicken shit at first, but he's still a cutthroat white actor at the end of the day. So as soon as he found, because I know for a fact that Robert Downey Jr. knew the whole plan for Marvel and everything going on behind the scenes, probably since Iron Man 2. probably after Iron Man 1 and going into Iron Man 2.
Oh, dude, his favorite movie is probably the Tom Holland Spider-Man, because he didn't get to do much but get a nice fat check.
Like, yeah, exactly. You feel me? So he knew. That's why he negotiated so hard early on, because he knew that they were gonna build a whole franchise off of this. And he said he was like, well, you're gonna build a whole franchise off of the movie that I'm starring in, because I want a big cut. You feel what I mean? And then with how rabid Marvel fans are and everything, they all love. You feel what I mean? Iron Man.
They are very rabid. It's uncomfortable.
Because I'm trying to tell you, they were considering recasting Robert Downey Jr. a few times, and they would have done that shit. But what really made them fold was that they knew that shit would have made them look stupid. You feel what I mean? And
at least they're smart to know that.
Have been off it. Yeah, fans wouldn't have been off it. You feel what I mean? And Robert Downey Jr. would have had the last laugh, and he pretty much caught them in the corner without them realizing it. They thought that they had. Marvel thought that they had a little chunk, you feel what I mean, that they can just like, oh yeah, we'll pay you chicken shit, and you can bounce back off these comic book films, and it'll be cool, it'll work. And then he did need a win. He did.
He did. Like, his career definitely did. No one was praising Robert Downey Jr. before Iron Man. No one was even praising Iron Man before Iron Man.
What's so funny about that? He was starring in shitty ass family films up to before that point. Literally. like movies with Tim Allen in it.
What was that? There was a movie where he said he was the name of a guy that a girl heard about in a gypsy thing, and he got to date her, and he said, hey, that's not me. Oh, Anything You Say, there you go. He was in that one.
Yeah, I didn't know what any of that meant.
Sorry, my mom, she's got a collection.
But yeah, that's why I think it's so funny that like people are like gassing like, oh man, he should get an Oscar. Like, oh man, you mean the guy that fucked everybody out their money in the MCU and is the reason why half the actors got recasted? He should get an Oscar for his phoned-in coke performance. You know what I mean? When this guy could blatantly say he went clean as soon as Iron Man came out. You feel me? Went straight back to fucking sniffing coke and sucking dick.
Damn.
So I don't want to hear it. Like, you feel me? Like, people try to put in like, and I know I'm saying that off the cuff. You're like, what are you trying to say? Robert Downey Jr. is gay? Yes, I am. I'm trying to say he's homo. Yes, he's gay. He's clearly gay. And there's been many rumors, major rumors that he's been gay for a very long time, even from back in the day. Like, so. It is not really setting that, you feel me, a mystery. I know they try to sell him like he's some type of fucking action star.
Nah, he's not tough enough to be an action star to me.
Exactly.
He's too sassy.
Yeah, exactly. Watch his interviews,
Way too
watch his
sassy.
mannerisms and all that. He's a Kevin Spacey ass type actor. He's a Kevin Spacey type. What they say about Kevin Spacey? They said Kevin Spacey was gay for years, for mad long. Until what happened? Until that pedophile shit came out on him. And then when he said, "Oh, I'm gay."
Hey, before that happened, there was a saying around town that's like no one says anything about Kevin Spacey's sexual preference. That was a thing. Like, no one talks about it. I was like, why? And he's like, no one talks about it. That's it. That's all we're gonna tell you because no one talks about it. I'm like, okay, weird. You know, weird shit like that I'd hear.
What do you
Then
mean it's weird?
stuff
It's
like that
obvious.
happens.
It's pretty much don't ask, don't tell.
Right?
Man, Kevin Spacey, he's pretty much one of them dudes in Hollywood that's openly gay as hell in Hollywood. If you're out there and if you see him, if you know him. But if you don't know it, then they're not putting this shit on the TV. You're not putting this shit on the news. They're just not telling you. That's really what it
there's a
comes
lot
down
of
to.
stuff a lot of people don't tell you.
Like, but guaranteed there are people walking into parties and Kevin Spacey got balls in his mouth at the parties. You feel me? So they know, and he don't care. He openly had balls in his mouth.
That's why I think Zack Snyder doesn't pay for such protection because he doesn't care. He just wants to make movies. And then when people want to go dirty and bury him in the industry, they got the social media outlets and they got the trades to do what they want. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Because that's what I see.
Yeah, but that's what it comes down to. And you don't see the trades talking about RDJ being a cokehead and deep throating and all that shit. You don't see him talking about that. But they want to push him like, oh man, you know, like he's fucking Keanu Reeves or something. Like, you feel me? Like he needs he's like, man, 10 years of action legacy of being a robot man. like you said, like, why is this dude interviewing? Like,
He
dude
can't
is
even throw a
sassy
punch,
as
dude.
hell.
I swear, he doesn't even know how to
He's
do that.
mad sassy, you feel me? He
Not just
dresses
that, but
mad
Ant-Man is
feminine.
sassy too. It's like the sass went around.
not like that. Paul Rudd, you feel me? He has boyish charm. That's different.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr.
I was thinking it's kind of
is
sassy
a
though.
sassy douche. Like, he'll sit there and act all sassy and say some douchey ass shit to people live on TV and that. Like, I'm trying to tell you, that's that gay dude shit. That's how gay dudes come. I'm trying to tell you, like, he may not be saying it, people aren't saying it, but you feel me? He's like Robert Downey Jr. the type of dude who openly disrespected a female co-star. You feel what I mean? Say some slick shit, throw some hella shade. Live interview, and they'll show it and play it. Like, you feel me? What male actor does that? I'm trying to tell you, only gay dudes do that. Like, and then niggas he'll think that shit is mad cool too. Like, being straight disrespectful to a woman. Like, then you think like, oh man, you're kind of profile.
Yeah, I never liked the disrespectful to women.
I'm not like only certain. And not saying just being disrespectful. There's been times, you know, where Chris Hemsworth was coming at Brie Larson, and that was different. He was actually coming at her and throwing jokes. Like, you see what I mean? I mean when you know them feminine, fly shade ass lines that a soft nigga would say, or a woman would say is the best thing to say. You hear a dude talking like that to another woman, like to a woman, is like, why are you? First of all,
The
why
sass,
are you talking,
yeah.
Yeah, why are you talking sassy to a woman, and why are you kind of like you're coming disrespectful to her on some woman shit? Like, you're a woman or some shit.
That's weird, yeah.
Like, you feel what I mean? Like, I'm trying to tell you, like,
the weird place sass is weird.
Exactly, the way women carry themselves and they insult, they're very, you feel me? They're very they'll be passive aggressive insults. They'll say a shady line. You feel me, here or there. That's how women move. They're not gonna. Most women ain't just gonna come up to you like, man, fuck you, bitch ass nigga. Like, they're not. They're gonna say some slick shit to you because you know, for the most part they know if they maybe do try to say something crazy to you, you might flip because you're a dude. So they're not gonna try to press that angle too hard. And plus, there's a level of respect. You feel me? That goes from man and woman on both ends. So she's not going to outright just blatantly disrespect you unless she feels like it's necessary. But that's the shit I mean. You feel what I mean? And that's why I say, watch his interviews and how he comes. He comes just like that. And you just watch how he move. And like I said, there's rumors out there and everything too. You feel me? Like, he has more rumors on him than even Tom Cruise.
And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong Nothing bad being gay, right? Gay dudes are cool too. It's just that the people who treat it like it's a bad thing is weird. You know, like downplay it like that Kevin Spacey thing.
No, I disagree because I feel like
Yeah,
with
what do you
that
think?
people
What's your opinion?
don't want to be honest about the nature perception, and nature's perception is even the best way to put it.
How do you mean?
It's like, I mean, in the sense that no matter what, no matter how Star Trek the world gets and progressive the world gets, you feel me? A dude who's considered gay is gonna be considered submissive to a man that is straight for several reasons. Like, and it has nothing to really do with bias. It really just has to do with the law of nature. Just like how men sleep with women, who's getting penetrated in this situation? Who's the dominant one?
Oh, I see what you mean.
We can argue and lie about this all day, but women open their legs, men enter. Everybody knows that. So it's like just by that alone, there's an automatic, you feel what I mean, balance at play with how things are in nature. You feel what I mean? We can even go into women's rights and all that things, and why people feel like there's an imbalance, you feel what I mean, between men and women in the world, even though there really kind of isn't, you feel me? But they say that there is. But why is that? Because women feel like they're submissive to men, and that's what it comes down to, because they are. Is that a lie?
I don't know if I agree, but I see what you're saying.
It's the truth. Like, and you can go and look at lions, and it's the same thing. You feel me? The female lion, she runs around, hunts, and does all the badass shit. And then she does. And there's a lot of female, mammals and other things in nature that do the same thing. But at the end of the day, she still comes back to that lazy ass lion though. Brings him the food, lets him eat it first. You feel what I mean? Then she lays down and still lets him smack. And he didn't even do shit. All he got to do is roar and shit, and like kill a fucking coyote or something, or a fucking what do they call them shit that was in fucking Lion King? You feel me? A hyena.
Yeah, the
hyena every now and again. You feel me? Like, come on, like.
Well, also here's another thing. Like, even in nature, there's like the mantis. Like, if we're a guy mantis and we're doing a girl mantis, she's going to eat our head right after we finish, and that's gonna be hot.
Yeah, but those are insects though.
Oh.
You can't. Those are insects though. You feel me? Insects, they move on a whole different type of time than mammals and even fish.
I have no respect for fish. I can't respect a fish. I can't respect an organism that eats its own children. I'm sorry. So fuck you, fish. I'm forever eating sushi. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for fish.
That is what it comes down to. Like, when it comes down to insects, and like, I guess you can use fish too if you want. But and I feel like it's the flaw in people that believe that, like, oh yeah, it's an imbalance of the dominant and the submissive. No, it's not. You feel what I mean?
I think there's gaps with people.
No, that is the balance. That is literally the balance. It's a thing that people think that being submissive is negative. That's the whole point.
Well, there are some people who love submission.
People prefer, and they choose to view themselves as dominant, even if they are submissive. And that's the truth.
Oh, we hear that on Twitter.
In reality, it's really just yin and yang. So
that is
people
the
feel
truth.
like, oh yeah, you're saying what? Because women get banged out, they're submissive, that they do what men say. Is like yes and no. You feel me? But also on the flip side of that, because women open their legs, you feel me, and cater to men, you feel what I mean? We do what they want. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
You ever heard of the term motherfuckers who are pussy whipped?
Yep.
What does that mean? Exactly.
So
how many
here's the
dudes
thing.
out here that are pussy whipped? And you say like, oh man, bro, when you go to the bar, like, oh man, I would. Like, you want to chill tonight, man? People like, oh, my girl about to come through, man. They're like, yo, bro, you were chilling with her every night for like 2 weeks. You just chill tonight, yo, dog. You like just tired, yo. Fuck it, you feel me? Like, oh yeah, I feel you, bro. Now I'm about to chill with my girl, though. It's like, come on, man. Like, yeah, obviously the girl is the submissive one in the relationship. Yeah, like, you feel me? She's opening her legs. She's getting banged out. You feel what I mean? That's nature right there. You can't argue against that. You feel what I mean? But still, like you said, there's still other aspects in play that is the reason why it's still yin and yang. You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
It still is. Like,
because with yin and yang, it's like one is hard, one is soft, but they're both equal in power because they need each other to coexist. And as you turn the symbol, at certain points, the soft is in power, then in other points, the hard is in power, you know? And other points are equal. Like, it just changes depending on. That's why I like that symbol a lot.
And that's why I say that even I really don't think there's gonna be an equality when it comes, you know, to like the LGBT, at least when it comes to people's minds in certain aspects. I actually think that women are gonna win this battle and men aren't. That's what I actually think. I think that LGBT women are gonna win this battle, and LGBT men are gonna lose, like, in the long run. Because when
That's
it comes now, we have to get into dynamics of men. You feel what I mean? Like, and like where we just talked about the dynamics of dominant and submissive. You feel me? Like with men, you feel what I mean? Is, you know, it always has to be a level of dominance, at least when it comes to yourself. You feel me? You gotta at least be able to take care of yourself. You feel what I mean? Stand on your own too, as they would say. You be the oak tree. That's a good one. like, and I wouldn't. It is a competition because nature is a competition. But I wouldn't say it's a conscious competition to some. But in reality, in most men's minds, you feel me, that strive to be dominant or view themselves as dominant. You feel what I mean? Most guys, they view most guys who are fucking other men as not dominant. You feel what I mean? You're automatically just put in the submissive category. You feel what I mean? Because even if you're not, you know, being the one getting bent over and done in the ass and shit, you know what I mean? Like, that is still how they're gonna look at it. You feel what I mean? Because of that, you're just automatically gonna just get stepped over. And why am I saying this? Why am I saying this though? You're probably asking. I'm saying this is because this is the reason why dudes like RDJ and even
there we go. Yeah, I totally forgot.
In Hollywood, where people like to think it's so progressive and it's so this and that, and California is so this and that, and it's really not. You feel what I mean? Because in these places, yes, these things still do matter. You feel what I mean? They definitely still do matter. Like, you know, if Kevin Spacey is known to be openly put dick in his mouth, nobody's gonna want to see him playing in serious roles, acting all serious, because they're not gonna take him seriously, because they're gonna think he putting dick in his mouth. I hate to say it, but that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? That's why even there's action stars that are gay. If you don't see them coming out, they're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, because they know.
Like all that Vin Diesel speculation?
Exactly. And I'm not talking from the fan perspective of, oh, people that are the audience, people are going to see. I'm talking about the people that are going to hire them. Because the people that are hiring them are going to stop hiring them. So, and then they're going to be fucked. Because those people, the executives at these studios, are going to know that, oh yeah, this is going to fuck with our demographics.
Because a lot of celebrities, musicians, any talent, anyone who gets billed as talent, a lot of them are always trying to maintain a certain reliable image or portrayal that's key to their career.
Exactly.
That is a fact. Whatever that image is, that's just the way it is.
They maintain it. Even like, perfect example, the actors that are LGBT. Have you noticed that they kind of stay in the LGBT bubble? Like, if actors that do come out, you still get roles, but you're kind of pigeonholed.
Yep.
Because now they're automatically gonna send you all the low level virtue signaling, you know, bullshit roles that don't really mean shit except for the fact that you're gay.
Because a lot of film companies now are definitely political, and then there's different ties.
Exactly. Now like I'm trying to tell you, and that in a sense, that undercuts their market. It really does. And that's why I say this is gonna be something. Yeah, female actors are benefiting from this, and they're gonna continue to benefit from this. the male actors really aren't vetting things. Like, the gay male actors aren't vetting things at all. They're just getting gay roles, doing minuscule shit to be gay. They're just being gay characters. That's it. You know.
That's why I liked Ezra Miller being cast as Flash, because he's playing a straight dude. And he's being himself at the same time, you know? That's diversity.
How many Ezra Millers are there, though?
Well, there's not many Zack Snyders, we know that.
But nah, be real question. How many Ezra Millers are there, though? How many gay actors are there that are on the level of Ezra Miller?
On his level, no. There's a lot of people trying to get up there, but yeah. On his level, no. You're going to be waiting for a while, man.
I'll give you like 30 seconds.
Nah, I just throwing the towel, man.
Like, no, even in all that time, not gonna exactly. It's like, now can you name a few lesbian actresses that are pretty lit? I could name like 2 right now. What's her name? What's her name? Kirsten Stewart, Ellen Page.
I'm behind on people's stuff. Really, I just found out about Kristen Stewart last week.
Tessa Thompson. Yeah, like I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
A lot of it, I'm trying to tell you, man. They're really the ones getting the burnout for all this. The gay male actors are not.
That's not fair. Man. That's not equality.
Duh, it's nature. That's what I'm saying. Like.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying now, like.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
In a sense, they're lying to you. You feel what I mean? Like, that's why you shouldn't be seeking really, chasing rights and everything, getting your rights. Yes, that's very important. But you shouldn't be chasing people's approval, or feeling like you have to fucking be telling people what the fuck you even be doing with your life or in your bedroom and shit.
Yeah.
Because there are way bigger dynamics here in play than people actually want to honestly talk about. And that just goes way past the friend groups of guys that may have the one gay friend in there. You feel me? Oh, he's gay. We're not gonna be friends anymore. Oh, you know, it's discrimination. Like, no, it's past that. Because at this point, there is that in this world, and at that level, people don't care as much, and they're acceptable. You feel me? They're cool with it. Like, oh, you gay? I don't give a fuck. But, you know, like, but when it gets to higher levels, man, they sell this bullshit to us, but they don't believe it. You know, remember there was a big scene in HBO's Rome. I'm trying to remember the characters' names. Well, it involved Caesar, but I'm trying to think who else was involved. I think it might have been Mark Anthony or something. But excuse me if I'm wrong about this. You feel me? But
I haven't seen the show yet.
Yeah, it came out a while ago. So you know,
yeah,
I watched it. You know, it's very funny. But there was a scene in Rome, if I'm not mistaken, where you know Caesar and Mark Anthony are like, you know, they're like kind of at odds or whatever. And I forgot what their at odds about. It might be over some Cleopatra or something. You feel what I mean? Like some stupid shit. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But either way, in one episode, pretty much Caesar pretty much sets up or whatever. I think or Alexander, my bad. Alexander, whatever, whoever the guy was. Like I said, I've seen this a while ago. But either way, the point is, he sets up Mark Anthony or some shit, and he pretty much rapes him.
Whoa. That's intense.
And I don't know if this is historically accurate or whatever, but this was a scene, and it did take place in the show, from what I remember. He pretty much rapes him, and sets him up, and rapes him and everything, like by force, obviously, raped him in the ass. And he pretty much raped him. Let me ask you, why did he rape him? Why do you feel like he raped him?
Power?
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that so quickly. Like, he pretty much just raped him to exert his dominance over him.
I mean, because I don't understand that stuff, so I'm just guessing like a dog would, you know.
Yeah, man. But even humans think the same way. Like, dogs, in reality, dogs don't move like that. Well, they do, but not most dogs, you feel me? Like, You got to be a really big dog. You feel me? On a really small dog. You feel me? Like.
Man,
You
there's
got
this
the dog.
comedian.
Got to be so small that you can't tell. But I bring that up simply to say that yeah, they present these things in media and they let you know. That's why they say subtext and all that shit and the nuances behind these things. But it's really whether you choose to acknowledge this or not. That you feel what I mean? There is a long-standing belief and a belief that will continue to stand. That you feel me? That you feel me? If you get fucked in the ass, you are a bitch. You feel what I mean? And you technically can't be put above other men who don't get fucked in their ass. Like,
That's a
and you
crazy
can say,
mentality, but
and they present this in media. You know, like because it comes down like to what you just said, power. You feel what I mean?
yeah.
You know, and you know, if you're letting another man run in your ass and shit, do you really have power? You really like a man? Like you're kind of on some submissive shit. And then that goes back into what I was saying, the dynamics and nuances in between men. You feel what I mean? If another man is looking at you like you're on some submissive shit, you feel what I mean? Where most men are on some dominant shit, you feel what I mean? He's gonna look at you like, well, you're a pushover, kinda. Like, you feel me? I'm gonna step over you. You feel what I mean? Whether you like it or not, because I feel a certain way about you that I don't have to tell you.
Wow.
Like, it's fucked up to say it, like, but you got to
No,
say it. Like, I don't have to tell you.
yeah,
And
but
that's
here's
just how it's gonna be.
now I'm thinking, the whole practice of faith. They practice inner power, self power. Well, usually, to the not the organized religion part, but the actual faith part is usually like self awareness, self awakening, like the stuff of exerting power with others is not there. So it's like I'm wondering if there's a divide of people who do things for certain things just for power's sake, and other people who do things just because it's good. Because power is not always good. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree. Power is better than most things in this world.
Hmm.
It's all about
Or different kinds of power. Or is
first
there
off,
just
what you
one power?
consider power, and
Yeah.
also how you use power, and if you can obtain power.
Mm.
I personally feel like the truth is people don't put too much thought on power. You feel what I mean? Because there's a lot of scary thoughts in this world. You know, death. You know what I mean? Power. You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
Other things.
Too many things, man. There should be just one good thing.
People like to look at it like, oh yeah, the billionaire, he has money, he has power, but money doesn't buy happiness, but he has power though.
And have you noticed how in Warner Brothers, right?
See, notice how.
Yeah.
I was saying, notice how they don't talk about the power. They're like, money doesn't buy happiness though, but yeah, but
But
he
they
has power,
flaunt it.
though.
Yeah.
But still, he still has power though.
And
But
look
it
at
doesn't
look
really
at
have it really has nothing to do with the money. Yeah, he
Oh,
has
wow.
money. You can say his power comes from the money. You can say that, but does power not buy happiness? I can't answer that question. I can agree that yeah, maybe you're right. Money doesn't buy happiness, but who has proven that power can't make you happy? Power can't make your life better. Power actually can make your life better.
Mm.
That's the truth. Like that's what it's all about. How you use said power. You feel me? A power can also be a burden. You feel me? But even watch Spider-Man. You feel me? People would rather embrace their power than discard it, right?
Right.
So now with all this, we're still have the hovering conversation of Hollywood and kind of approval that's going on.
We still do.
So
because I feel that Snyder Cut is an exercise of power, of them not releasing it.
It is, of course it is. Yeah, definitely. That's why I always said from the beginning that I personally feel that there's definitely power plays going on here. There is. And you're not gonna have me think twice because I had my keen eye on fucking Jeff Johns for a long time, even before
You
the
did.
whole
You've been saying
DCU
that
thing.
too, man. No lie, no
And
lie.
when the Nolan trilogy was even coming out and going on, you know, Dark Knight came out, you know, and Dark Knight Rises, there was even talks and rumbles and rumors of Jeff Johns and everything, and him not being on, you know, the Dark Knight. So they were talking about that back then, and they were even talking about back then how the, you know, the, as I call them, the comic book brigade,
Comic book brigade.
The comic book brigade, all the comic book writers that that have their gatekeeping, you feel me, blades, that, you feel me, feel like they, you know, they're the ones that need to shepherd comic books into, you feel what I mean, the new era. You feel me? Like there was rumors even around then, you feel me, that they wanted control over the DC films. You feel me? Like maybe there was rumblings back then going on of trying to get some type of cinematic universe off the ground. Maybe it was rumbling. Well, obviously the MCU was already in fruition by 2009, but that was all being talked about back then. You feel what I mean? Like,
That's true.
and even before that, like, you feel me, like how the comic book, you feel me, brigade, as I call them, because, you know, cause writers have to name all these people, but, you know, they wanted control over the films, and people looked at this shit kind of like as a conspiracy, like, you feel me, kind of as like a funny, doofy joke in a sense, like, oh yeah, these comic book guys will never, you know, you're never gonna get the movies. You guys write comics. Get the fuck out of here. Like, just hate to say it, but that's what it comes down to.
No, that is true.
There's a thing called medium. There's different mediums. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like comic writers, they and even a lot of comic book writers and all that, they don't even transition well into animation. Let's be honest. If a lot of these comic book writers are so great, why aren't they coming up with some dope ass, you feel me, you know, animated, you feel me, comic book shows? Why is it got to be all movies?
That's true.
They just think that this is point that out there, but they've been saying for a while that these guys, well, I'll say now that Jeff Johns being one of the main ones, you know, they wanted control over the DC films and all that. And it is true that, you know, I think Jeff Johns and maybe Mark Waid and a few other Superman and DC writers, comic writers around that time came to WB with drafts to get a Superman movie off the ground and going in, because it was pretty much going to happen. Like they were like kind of like forming a think tank in a sense, where and their one big move was like they went to WB like, and they pretty much pitched a bunch of Superman ideas, hoping that they would pick one. And then if they did pick one, then they would pretty much let them, you know, all can have control over that and shepherd that into existence. You feel what I mean? Whichever idea that I guess they would have picked. There was you know, a few ideas that were thrown around. You feel what I mean? From what I found out and read even into the future. I found out even future after that, but obviously WB said no. Like,
right.
And they went with, you know, Snyder. But JJ was working on the Superman, so in a sense, I think they went with JJ. No, I think with the time, I think JJ was working on the Superman flyby, and then I think they canned on that, and then in between that, when that happened, that's when the comic book brigade came with their ideas. You feel me? And they held a lot of animosity because of that. You feel what I mean? And Jeff Johns is one of those guys. You feel me? Some would say he was even maybe the head guy leading all of this. You know, he keeps popping up in the story like Skeletor.
That's so true. That's so true.
Like, even better, he keeps popping like this dude's like fucking Chamberlain and Dark Crystal. Yeah. This guy just fucking everywhere. He just pops up and horrible things happen. Anyway. But yeah, anyway though, like there was it was definitely a shocker to me that like how I guess this I don't even not gonna say how do I say it. It's simple to say that this actually fucking happened, and it was even more of a shocker because not only did it happen, but a lot of people didn't really know about this. So it's like it was like a tiny little fucking like it was like a tiny little mini nuke went off. You feel me?
Right.
In DC Comics, and nobody caught it. Like you feel what I mean? Because nobody just like, and it was like, hey, where they go? And I was like, no. I was like, when I seen that headline that said Jeff Johns, like his head of DC Films, I was like, no.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
This shit really just happened. I was like, oh my god, like, cause you have to understand, man, like, this was in the making since Nolan, like, and so for him to pop up during Snyder's run was probably the worst thing that could have happened, like,
right?
It was like, and lo and behold, they were right. This guy came in. He would be like, oh, I know comics, and you just go back and read his excerpts and his things that he said in articles. You feel me? When he was these like, dude, like, oh man, I just felt like, since I was the one who wrote these comics, that I am the best guy, say what's this. You didn't come up with these fucking characters. You didn't create them. What?
See, that's the thing. I think like, this guy just throws his name around.
It's like, yeah, like it really. Because that was never supposed to happen, man. Like, Jeff Johns was never supposed to be no damn head of DC Films. That was a pipe dream. like what? But that goes to show you that, you feel me? People, he was moving and shaking behind the scenes. Like you said, he throws his name around. The comic book era was bubbling up and everything. He felt like this was his time to strike. And he did. You feel me? Like, but the thing about it is that the reason why I felt like it's so hard for a lot of us to convince people of his wrongdoing in this is because a lot of people don't know, how long he's been fucking at this. They just kind of think that like, we're just jumping on his. Well, some of us are. A lot of us are just jumping on his neck right now because of what he did, and they liked him before. They didn't know what was going on prior to that because people don't pay attention to the ins and outs of, the comic book industry. It's a relatively small industry that doesn't relatively have that much behind-the-scenes actions going on in it.
But the product is important.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people didn't know that he was trying to bully his way onto the Nolan set and all that.
Damn.
You didn't know this is like small level news. You feel what I mean? Like nobody knows who Jeff Johns is. Like, or cares. He's just a comic book writer. You feel me? Like, so it's like nobody knows this stuff. So when they see his bag on him, and they think like, oh, and they look at it like, oh man, this is just a guy. He just tried. This was they put him on to see what the comic book guy is like. No, like he definitely did sabotage because this is what he was trying to do the whole time. Like he wanted. They not only wanted control over Superman, they wanted control over all the characters. They said that long ago. They wanted control over entire DC film, all DC on films. And now you have to look at it even, whereas what's Jeff Johns doing now? He's making his own DCEU. My apologies. He's making his own DCU on DCU. He's making Titans and Doom Patrol. You feel me? All the other shows that are technically not connected to his shit are getting canceled or whatever. But he's making his little own DCEU how he wants to. Like, this is what he wanted to do the whole time. Like, all he was like.
But imposing over other people, that's just not nice. That's not fair. That's not right. It's not right to everyone else.
Clearly. He's a piece of shit. Clearly. Like, it's not. It's like, we don't have to say he's not nice. Fuck him. You know what I mean? Like I said, like a lot of these guys, they just come on this gatekeeper shit. You feel what I mean? They try to play it off and everything, like, and it's cool and all that, but ultimately, that is what kind of fucked things up in the long run. Is that DC Comics DC Odd Films had had a had a snake in the grass, a viper that was gonna strike. You feel what I mean? At
And he's
any point.
buddies with Feige, right? Or Feige?
Yeah.
Hmm. That's unsettling in a way. Not to say they couldn't be friends with whoever they want, but it's just
But nah,
how
they're
they
like
go
real
about
friends
things.
though. They're like
Wow.
homies though.
Dang.
That's what I said. Like in the comic book industry and all that stuff, it do be a small industry. So a lot of these guys, they do be friends and they do hang out and shit. You feel what I mean? I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell you, like. But yeah, they was gonna strike at any point, and that's me even saying that even if it was a Snyder making the DCEU, that it was still gonna strike
Mm.
because this was something that was in the making before Snyder even came around.
I just wish it
You feel
happened
me?
after Justice League.
I don't. I wish it just didn't happen at all. Because
Well,
at any point of when it happened, whenever it happened, it was gonna ruin shit.
it sounds like it's
Because
inevitable, though, the way you said it.
no, it's
Do you
not.
think it
It
would
wasn't
be?
inevitable.
Mm.
No, because it's not inevitable now. Do
Mm.
the comic book brigade control DC films now? No, because
No,
they
that's
should.
true.
Because that's how it be. You guys make comic books. You are not filmmakers. So is
Mm-hmm.
everything is right in the universe. That's how it should be. You guys can come in, write a little bit, give your input. You feel me? But unless you're gonna literally come over and fold into the next medium and actually put in the work to be there, then get the fuck out of here. Don't
That's
try to
true.
come over here and say just because they're comic books that you know what to do and all that. Nah, man. 'Cause that doesn't because even when it comes to even translating certain things from medium to medium, a certain refinement is required, especially when it comes to film.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
Very
can't.
true.
If that's the case, why don't you just fucking adapt? Why don't you just adapt all the fucking comic books? You feel me? In all
Yeah,
tasteful
why pick?
fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wouldn't make no sense. A lot of that shit is convoluted bullshit.
Hmm.
If you're gonna make comic books about how it's in the comic books, you know how much money you're gonna spend just making convoluted bullshit. Like there's gonna be unnecessary fucking films about like Flash and Martian Manhunter. You feel what I mean? Going to an alien planet to fucking get coffee and getting pulled in by a gang of ruffians for no reason. Like things like that. The timeline's not good. They're just like you read comic books. They're all over their place.
They are.
They're fucking mind. They're mind farts of imagination.
My first one.
like, like some of these things need to be refined. You feel me? They can't just tell the Batman story of how it is going for 1,000. Like make 1,000 Batman movies based on each issue.
Seems like that's what they want.
It doesn't like it's not gonna make any sense. Like you feel what I mean? And then it's gonna be
Mm.
like, all right, is he gonna die at some point? Does he age? Like, we're 1,000
Can he
movies
even
in,
grow old?
Yeah, we're on Batman 1,000. All these movies are canon. They're in the same universe. Like when it's his birthday. So like, is Easter? All these is gonna be a day. Like you feel me? It's like it doesn't. So no, I don't. I don't really believe that's inevitable, and I definitely don't now, especially with you feel me the creators that are even around now.
How cool would it
A
be
lot.
if they left the characters age and die, and then we have all these generations of new characters, and then we wouldn't have to be slaves to certain mandates and expectations and laws and rules of certain characters, and just stay true to the universe and who they are at the moment. You know, that'd be cool.
No, that would be cool, but even that's like I said.
It's almost like they're stuck. That's kind of why I like
Drop my
generation
mic.
stories. Like what?
Said I dropped my mic.
Oh,
Yeah, I said that
that's
would be
a,
cool though.
you know, like we're seeing
But
with Dark Crystal.
do
You know.
they would do that as a miniseries though. Like
Mm-hmm.
Marvel did that. Marvel did that already.
Yep.
They would just do it as a miniseries that takes place in a specific universe.
Yeah, that's how I
Mhm.
couldn't keep track of their shit. They kept on doing little temporary stuff and then restarting again without like a big explanation just happening.
Yeah, you ever seen what was it? What Young Avengers?
Next Avengers, you mean? The animated movie?
Yeah, it's an animated movie.
Yeah, it was Next Avengers. I like that one.
Yeah.
Animation was a little bit lazy, but it was good. Ah, damn it! I can't get up.
I feel like that one was kind of geared towards kids. That's why.
Yeah, that's why. But
Yeah.
you know, it was pretty decent. I liked it. It was a good concept. I kind of.
No, it's actually one of my favorite animated Marvel movies because there's not many I like.
I liked Doctor Strange, Invincible Iron Man, Planet Hulk, and that one. Really, those are pretty alright. At times, Planet Hulk was a bit pretentious, and that kind of made it slow for me. But the second half is really good.
No, Planet Hulk is good.
No, it is good. I was just being nitpicky on some parts.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but
Yeah, I refuse to hold a movie down to little nitpicky stuff. I don't think that's kind of fair. That's not fair to the whole picture, the whole point.
but really, when it comes down to it, like that's what Marvel should have been doing more of anyway. Like
Right?
they should have just been doing making animated films, have some of their backstory lines and everything, just like DC does it. But I don't know what the fuck they're doing or whatever they shit.
Oh, if something's rolling good with Marvel, they gotta keep it going as much as they can. That's just kind of their fight or flight mentality they've had for a while. Look how many villains turn into good guys with Marvel,
Yeah, it's annoying.
right? No wonder they don't have any iconic bad guys, because they're all good at one point. Even Venom's regarded a hero.
Yeah, I don't even entertain Harley Quinn as a good guy, really.
I don't really...
A lot of people do, but
See, I don't like the glorifying of villains, either.
Harley Quinn's an anti-hero. Like, no, she's not.
Nah. She's always been a villain.
Man, what are you talking about?
I mean, she was there taking part in a child's death, so come on now.
Catwoman's an anti-hero. No, she's a thief. She's
a villain?
She's definitely.
It's just her villainy is not... doesn't hurt others, really. It's just her selfishness.
It's just because she gives Batman pussy does not change the fact that she's a villain.
Right?
I said it.
Right?
Changes
That's
nothing.
so true. That's so
Changes
true.
nothing. He's still a bad person.
Yeah, she's a bad guy, and the only time she's a good guy is when she's getting really good.
The world is yin and yang. All of a sudden, Catwoman gives up a little bit of pussy, and she's the anti-hero now. She's a hero now. No, she's not.
Oh,
no.
Man.
Fickle.
Very fickle. That is the fickle pickle.
Did you ever hear Batman say that? What does Batman say? You can do so much good, Selena, if you would only change.
Right? If you'd only change, woman.
But you're too much of a thieving ass bitch.
Yeah.
So
I even
can't
tried to
fuck
marry
with
you.
like
You
that.
can't even do that.
Well, I guess the dynamic made.
Nah, I hated the whole
You know what I
comic
did?
run.
You know what I didn't get?
What?
They just did the same thing that they did in fucking Batman Hush. It was the same
Yep.
shit.
Pretty much. Now that you mention it, yep. That's right.
You know, I like no doubt, hell yeah. Like they did the same shit. That's why I'm looking at like I get people who are like, oh my god, they didn't really get married. I'm so mad. But did you really expect them to get married? That ruins everything. That ruins the whole dynamic. This is a story after all. You still have to get a comic.
Any marriage with Batman is always short. That's just the way it is. Even in Brave and the Bold, they had a little segment where he married Selena Kyle and had Damian. This is before Damian debuted in the comic books. And then what happened to them? They died in the museum explosion, and then Damian becomes Batman. It's like, wow, that was a short-lived relationship. Just one montage up to that.
Exactly.
Like, all his marriages are short-lived story-wise.
Same thing with the Dark Knight Rises. Like, oh yeah, he leaves with Selena at the end. That makes no sense. Really
that is very anti all Batman.
Batman has an obsession. He has a weirdo obsession of flying around Gotham as dressed like a bat. He's not going to give that up.
No.
And Selena knows that. And Selena's selfish. And
Mm-hmm.
because Batman won't give up, you feel me, flying around dressed as a bat, she's gonna hold that against him, and she's always gonna leave. And she's gonna feel
Mm-hmm.
like she can never have him. She's always gonna be more focused on flying around like a bat.
Oh yeah. I'm Batman. This makes me happy. Okay, Selena. Let it go. You can't be
Like that's
Batman
what
forever,
they,
Bruce. Oh
they even tell you that in Batman Hush too.
yeah. Oh man, I didn't see that yet. Was it good? The animated?
I have the comics on. It was the animated was
No, I have the
wasn't
comic. The
kind of that
comic's
bad.
dope. I haven't seen the animated though. I did get it though.
I would say this:
Welcome, welcome, one and all.
the one time I actually would have mind seeing Jason Todd, but he wasn't there.
Huh? That sucks.
Get your prizes.
So they couldn't even have him.
No, he wasn't. Right. You know, there's a scene where Tosh impersonates Jason Todd and makes it seem like, "Oh, you're a Batman. I'm Robin. You save me." And then Batman's like, "Oh man, you're not Robin. I know this trick enough smart. I know everything about logic. My brain is a logical steel trap. Anything that's irrational gets destroyed."
Do you ever think that sometimes Batman sounds like he has dementia with his logic on how he thinks? He's like, I knew I had this. I figured out this thing. I have a doohickey to a thingamawitsit bat gadget. That'll fix it. I'm Batman. No, you're Bruce Wayne. No, I'm Batman. It's like, all right. Well,
Yeah, I
admit
know
him to
that.
Arkham Asylum.
Man, people don't like when you make fun of Batman, but Batman is a funny ass character.
He is hilarious. I like that guy. He makes me laugh.
He is as funny as hell.
Yeah, man.
I feel exactly what you mean.
If people want to make fun of Superman, it's easy. A little reaching.
Batman walk up to a locked door like, I can get in here with this doohickey on my utility belt.
Yeah, I got everything on my belt.
If Penguin's in there, I'm gonna punch him and break him.
Yeah, I got everything I need on my belt. Everything's in it. All these tiny compartments. A grapple gun comes out. It's
He
amazing.
does exactly that. He breaks in the door and he scales the ceiling, and if like a penguin comes out fucking out of the other room like, I got all this money in. And Batman comes down and punches him right in his shit, like busts his whole nose open. He's like, where's your money, penguin?
It's right here in my handbag. Don't lie to
I'll
me.
break every bone in your body.
He's like, God damn it! I don't want to fight. I'm fat. I can't move.
Yeah, you can't even fight.
I have an umbrella. I poke people with it. Leave me alone, Batman. I'll break every bone. No, I'm civilized. God damn it. Leave me alone.
That should be having me rolling. Like, that's why I do just watch Batman the animated series sometimes, because this shit is just funny as hell.
It's pretty over the top intense at times, but there's some good pieces in that too. But yeah.
Like the episode Tiger with Tigress.
Oh, that was some anime corny. Wow, it's like
Yeah, that had to be one of the best episodes.
that one's crazy. Especially when Tigress, he's all like, Selena, you can live here with me. I was like, after everything that happened, dude, you think she's gonna try and you think that's like a hot ticket? It's like, oh, dude, you can't pass this up. Come on, homie.
But he had a good point though. Like, you're a cat woman, I'm a cat. You want to be a cat, right?
You want this girl? I mean, shoot. Oh man. But I like ones where
Feel it inside you. You know your father is wrong. And then he ran off like, ah.
Oh man.
and being being toxic masculinity. Yeah. My
Oh man.
masculinity is toxic.
Yeah, yeah. They had some good ones though. Like one I liked is when Bruce lost his memory while he was undercover as a homeless guy, and he got taken into some slave camp or something, and then he had to figure shit out. I thought that was dope.
Oh yeah,
That
he
felt
had the
more
white
practical.
hair.
Yeah. And then when he got his memory back, he came back as Batman and tore shit up like in the dark shadows, like a ninja would.
Yeah.
That was good.
He chased that fat nigga out the fucking tunnels, and it was like down.
Yeah.
And that
It
fat
kind of.
motherfucker, oh no, what the hell?
It felt kind of like an Italian crime movie.
Yeah, Batman beat the shit out that nigga down there. Like, what the hell, motherfucker? You gonna
Yeah, he
enslave
fucked
me?
them up, dude. That was good. See, there's some gems like that too, but then, I don't know. You get some weird ones.
It gets more mainstream after like once it hits the third season.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I feel like the first two seasons definitely focus more on Batman and shows him doing more like running the mill crime and going up against kind of just regular mobsters and
Yeah, not to hate, not to hate.
He goes
but,
and like. No, say that.
No, not to hate, but I think the show started to go down when Robin showed up.
Oh,
and I felt that as a
Batman
kid.
and Robin.
Yeah, I started feeling like it went down.
Actually, it didn't, because in reality, Robin is actually not in too many episodes.
Yeah, that's what I liked about him.
Like when you were younger, you probably thought that Robin was in way more episodes than, because probably the ones you were seeing he was in. But when you watch them back to back, like Robin pops up like a few times in the first season. Like Robin is in the first season.
Oh shit! See, I haven't watched it.
And then he doesn't come. He pops up again, I think, in the second season.
Oh, okay.
Because they have Robin's reckoning in the first season and all that. I'm pretty sure that's where that takes place. That's a two-parter. So that's when he becomes Robin. But then even after that, Robin's still a kid, so you don't really see Robin that much until season 3, where Robin gets older
and turns into Nightwing. That was sick.
Yeah. So that's why I say
I just wish they would show like where he gets his name from, like Superman. That'd be cool.
I think he just chose it.
No, he got from he chose it, but he also remembered it from a Superman Kryptonian thing. I remember.
Yeah, they don't go into much detail with Nightwing's backstory. They kind of set up more that by the end of the season they set up that they set up that Batgirl had the crush on Batman pretty early on.
That's true. That would make sense why she got loyal really fast, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why in Killing Joke, the animated one, Bruce Timm went there with them getting all a little hanky-panky. Because I think that was like something he always wanted to do with the animated series, but couldn't, of course.
Yeah.
Because that was weird.
It was definitely referenced. And I think in later storylines, I think like in Batman Beyond, they go into that further, and they say that's pretty much the real reason why Robin and Batman ended up falling out, was because Batman pretty much stole Barbara Gordon away from him, and then they pretty much started dating for a while, and then everything fell through. But the whole thing about that was, I think it was trying to set up that she may have been cheating on him with Bruce,
because they did hint at certain stuff like that, and now hearing it from you, I'm like, okay,
no, yeah,
cool.
like
I'm not the only one who saw it.
In the animated series, it's definitely obvious that, like, they set it up that Barbara Gordon has a clear infatuation that's more than mentor-like with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm because I haven't watched Batman Beyond in a while, but I'm pretty sure they expand on that in Batman Beyond when they go into I think that was Return of the Joker.
Yeah,
They might have talked
that's
about
how I
that.
remember it, because I have the director's cut of that.
So even though he wasn't able to show it, it was still canon,
Mm-hmm. Very
and it's
true.
actually one of the things that a lot of Batman fans hate about the animated series in the DC. I guess the DCAU.
Oh no, that would be the Timverse. I'm guessing the Bruce Timm universe, which is the animated series of like animated TV series, Batman, Superman, and Justice League.
Well, yeah, all that it falls under that. That's the same Batman.
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
like
I was just
that's
thinking
why I
the
said in Batman.
animated
Yeah,
is
the
a
DCA. Yeah, the DCA is called
movie
the
ones.
DCAU. Oh,
Ah,
the DCAU is the movies.
yeah, that's what I mean. The
So
Timverse is
the
the TV
Timverse
series.
is a TV series. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. That's why they could release a Snyder Cut, because there's so many. Who gives a shit?
We do.
Exactly. Everyone, like, who gives a shit of it being a problem to release it? That's what I'm saying. There's no problem. Just release it. It's not gonna hurt anybody. God damn it. Can I do this one?
Yeah, that shit. My bad. Plug that shit out.
No, that's cool. I figured. Oh shit.
Yeah, they should just release it at this point, but.
Mm-hmm.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Like, one thing I don't like about DC Comics is when New 52 was rolling in, and there were some really cool stories that they were building up, and the fact that they were they did let go a bunch of writers and disregard a bunch of those stories, except Jeff Johns stories, of course, and no lie, and
Wait,
Dan
say that
Didio.
again?
No, like when New
Repeat
52 was
everything you just said.
all right, when New 52 was gonna launch, they reassigned and let go writers and discontinued some storylines, except Jeff Johns' Green Lantern storyline. That's the only one that maintained when they did the whole New 52 switch. And a lot of fans were saying, hey, what are you going to do with those storylines? I mean, what was the reasoning behind it? And Dan Didio went out publicly on Twitter or something saying that we got a whole bunch of new storylines set up. You guys are going to enjoy it. It's going to be great. Didn't even acknowledge the question. And that always left a bad taste in my mouth, even to today. And the fact that I see...
And this was when New 52 first rolled out. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
this is when New 52 first rolled out. So that mentality bothers me. Then now I'm seeing, Wonder Woman 84, how it's getting, promoted, and same with the Joker and the Pattinson's Batman, whatever. I feel that New
They're
52
just trying
thing
to force
again.
it on you.
Yeah, like ignore the answer and just focus on what they're going to deliver and hope that we're all just going to get ooh-awed, enamored by the new, that we're even going to forget our problem. That's what I worry about. That
And
they're all
New
being
52 is
hush-hush.
trash.
Yeah, like they're being all
Exactly.
hush-hush.
Unnecessarily hush-hush about everything. About every fucking
Just
film
thinking we'll
coming out of
get
DC.
enamored with the new thing to the point where we'll forget what we wanted in the beginning. But fuck that shit. That's not me.
I still think Jeff Johns is trying to work his way back in there somewhere. Even
I think so
I'm
too,
trying to
because even
tell
with
you,
New
like,
52, he got his way.
he's probably gonna get writing credits on Wonder Woman 84. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a nice credit on there.
Hey, we'll find out if he mentions Detroit in that, then we know that's his thumbprint.
And on top of that, you know, he has credit on Aquaman too for no reason.
Dang.
I guess he wrote some of that too. That's why I don't really even fuck with
Well,
Aquaman
this early
like
on,
that.
they're probably just using his name to promote it still.
Why? I don't see why.
Because a lot of people think Jeff Johns means DC.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't.
No, there's some homies I roll with to the comic book store, but one of them he's a Jeff Johns fan. He thinks Justice League is good. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't
you
agree
better
that it's
tell him
amazing, but he
you
says
better
it's
tell him to
good. It's fine.
cut that shit out.
Oh, I already did. He don't even talk that shit with me. He knows I'm Snyder Cut all the way. But I can tell he does little jabs because he still does jabs about the Martha thing. I'm like, psh, come on, man. You have a cushy life.
Well, he throw jabs about how Jeff Johns is trash. and his comic and his comics are overrated as shit. Like, oh yeah, they kept Green Lantern run. His whack ass, boring ass Green Lantern run that led up to boring ass fucking Blackest Night. Oh yeah, it's so great.
You know what? If you
Boring
read
as
that,
fuck.
that Green Lantern New 52, that Jeff Johns one, it's a lot of Sinestro giving people a bunch of history lessons. How is that exciting storytelling? He's like in a situation, and then he has to explain something. He's in a situation, somehow happens, and then he has to explain something. It was just pretty much Sinestro explaining the whole story in different ways. It was weird. I didn't like it. And then Hal Jordan was like piggybacking along saying, I hope they let me back in the Corps. Or something like that. I don't know. That was my impression. It wasn't very great.
Yeah, the way he writes out Jordan is terrible. I don't see how why did people like that shit so much?
I don't know, just because it's like his favorite character, which is great. Like my favorite character is Superman, but I'm most likely gonna write a Supergirl story if I had a choice. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I don't know about Jeff Johns.
All I say is he didn't make Hal Jordan any more interesting than he was.
He didn't change anything. That's the thing. He
made him less interesting.
Yeah, it's like okay. Here's a big difference with
Before he was
Jeff Johns
before he
and
was
Dwayne
kinda special.
McDuffie. Right. Dwayne McDuffie would honor source material and create new source material that would push the characters and what they meant. Dwayne McDuffie
Yeah,
was like
I
amazing
know.
at that. And then you get Jeff Johns who just does what's expected of the character. He doesn't do anything to push the character or enhance the story. He just does what's expected. And then people in their comforting mind saying, oh yeah, that's what they would do because they've done it before. And they're happy with that. But then they don't get challenged. They don't get pushed. They don't get to grow as people.
3, 2, 1.
Like the new Doomsday Clock. Well, the Doomsday Clock in general.
Yeah, what you think about that?
That shit is trash. What do you mean? What do I think?
I haven't touched it, so I don't know.
I think I'm
It
gonna
doesn't
burn
appeal
the
to me.
issues I have right now. This shit is trash.
Dang, dog. We should have to go sideways. Fuck this one.
Doomsday Clock is one of the reasons why I stopped going to the damn comic book shop.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
Shit.
Real shit. But one of them, I'm like, man, cause I was interested in the Justice League run, but then now he told me I didn't even feel like reading the Justice League run anymore, cause it's like the Justice League movie was kind of whack, so I'm like, that shit
Yeah,
kinda,
man.
that shit
You know what's
kinda,
super
feel me?
whack about Justice League, among many things, is that they couldn't get all the actors in together, right? Because of schedule conflicts, because the reshoots are just impractical altogether. So that whole scene when they're talking about the mother box is whack as fuck. Because guess what they did?
Yeah, cause
No one was there. Everything's
They just-
CG.
I
And-
know that. That's what's Kojay. That's clearly what they did.
Yeah, but what's
I
bad
didn't
is their eye
need a
lines are
whole
wrong.
documentary video to tell me that.
I know,
I
right?
didn't. It's
Some
clear-
people
it's-
do.
I
I know,
so
not
obvious.
you. But what I'm saying,
even if when you watch, remember the part when Aquaman walks up next to Wonder Woman and shit. They're obviously not there. They're obviously not in the same. There's not this. To be honest, that doesn't even seem like it. It doesn't even seem like it was the same scene.
yeah,
It
right.
wasn't. It was
But
clearly,
some
it
people
was
didn't
clearly
catch
two
on.
different scenes.
But the crazy thing is that the most obvious thing
catch
I
on,
saw.
man.
I hope they do, man, because this is ridiculous. Because the biggest
It's called-
obvious
it's called
painful thing.
It's called the silent. It's called the silent majority, man.
Yeah,
It's
that's
called the
true.
silent majority.
It was just
People-
tripping me how their eye lines were not even aligned. Because Ben Affleck is taller than Gal Gadot, right? And then when he's talking to her about Steve Trevor, he's the camera angle's down low, but she's looking up at him, and then he's looking up over her head. If you follow his eye line, it's like,
I
dude, man,
know.
she's shorter than
Kojay,
you.
why are you making me relive this?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just still in shock.
I know.
I'm still in shock. I don't get to talk to people about this.
It was awful. It was awful. And then flash. Then the flash noise comes out of nowhere for no reason.
Right?
Why did that happen?
Just because he wanted to move downstairs. It's like, oh, why are you guys? Ay. And they think that's gonna pass for the audience and make us happy. That's the biggest debacle. Sorry, I just
feel like it just ruined the whole moment. Period. It's like it would have been more dramatic if she just pushed the shit out of him and nobody said nothing. You feel me? There was no noise at all. You just heard him fucking bang into the wall like, you know, it looked stupid. Like that would have been the obvious thing to do right there. You feel me? But you know, you never know how even Snyder did it in his version. But still, like, I feel like.
No, I think they were all in the Batcave in their gear right after Steppenwolf. I don't even think that they dressed down back into their, like, how would Cyborg switch from
They weren't in the Batcave.
Yeah, how would Cyborg go from his sweats to his gear,
man,
and then back in his sweats?
That wasn't the scene that's chopped up, man. It wasn't the Batcave. If you notice, they say they're going, and it seems like they enter the Batcave even when they hit the beginning. Even when Flash goes into he sits in the Batmobile. But the scene after that, when they go into the entire room, and that's not the Batcave. That's the Wayne hangar. The hangar.
Shit.
It's not the Batcave. Never was.
Fuck.
They just say it's the Batcave. Think about it. We've seen the Batcave in BVS. That's not the Batcave. That's why I don't even like thinking or talking like the movie is ridiculously trash and stupid. It's even like it throws continuity so far out the window to the point where they have the Batcave clearly in BVS. You see what it looks like, it's right there. You go to it multiple times, and then in that scene, they say they're in the fucking Batcave, and it's clearly not the Batcave.
Damn, dude. That's so painful.
It's not. Like,
oh.
Go watch BVS. You can see the Batcave right there.
I'll watch BVS. I won't watch Justice League shit.
Yeah. You see multiple guys. So think about all the scenes where he was in the Batcave, even when he drove back in and he walked up the stairs, and think about all that. And then now tell me that the room that they were talking in that scene was at the Batcave.
That's what they wanted. No.
That's what they just wanted you to think it was the Batcave.
Damn. See, that slipped me. Shit.
3, 2, 1, go.
Like, it slipped me that they were passing off as a Batcave, but they were.
They were. It's literally what all they did. Even think about how that was the Batcave. It's not even a cave. It's not even a man cave. It's a hangar. I'm pretty sure you can even go check. You feel me? The concept art of the film. It says what the fuck it is. It's the Wayne Tech hangar or some shit. It's not the Batcave. Never was. Clearly isn't the Batcave. Doesn't even look like the Batcave. There's so many wild inconsistencies in that film that it's just like it's mind-boggling.
It is. That's why I'm just still
They're like,
boggled.
oh, this is the Batcave, and then they do a big-ass pan shot, and a big-ass fucking looks like corporate hangar building, and there's fucking light beaming in through the window. It's like, so this is Batman's secret hideout out in the open. What is he, Tony Stark or something?
Oh, I see what they did there. We don't need Robert Downey Jr. We have Batman. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
It's quite ridiculous.
It is.
Because the one thing with that scene that bothers me the most is that it's not even. It is the fact that that shit is a hodgepodge of bullshit going on. Because like I said, even when they come in, they makes it seem like they're going into the Batcave, and they set it up. You even see the Batmobile goes in it, you know, and then they walk into a totally different fucking location. Like it's like they just walked through into another reality, or a fucking parallel wall or some shit that just teleported them to a different room.
I know, right? And even the voice that called out for him when he was in the car is like, Barry. Who was that? That didn't even sound like anybody particular in the cast. It was weird.
That was supposed to be Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't even know if that ADR is even Ben Affleck.
And that's what I'm saying too. That shit was weird because it didn't even sound like how he usually talks. Like,
right?
It's like I'm trying to tell you, they try to throw that fucking Christian Bale Batman gruff on him, like Barry.
Right? Oh man, something's definitely bleeding.
Like the one thing I did like about this Batman too was that he definitely had a way more smoother, you know, dialogue and the way he came off. You feel what I mean? He didn't sound all gruff, and even when he was Batman, he used a slight voice changer, so his voice still sounded similar to his actual voice, but he had a voice changer on, so it wasn't all that
yeah, man.
Like even the part where he says to him, like, I don't know if he had the voice changer on in that part, but at the end of BVS when he says to Lex Luthor, like, oh yeah, I know a place where they treat people like you with, you know, with love and kindness, I think something like that. But you're not going there. Like the way, and then he goes on to say, like, oh yeah, I got you booked to go to Arkham Asylum. Like, the way he delivered that I felt like it was very Batman.
Yeah, that's very Batman. Exactly, because
he said it in a very cruel yet casual way. Like,
yes, that's what I'm talking about. Because even the comedy in the first trailer when Wonder Woman was like, he agreed to come, and he said more or less, more or more or less. He's like more or less. He's not coming. He's not coming. Even that little comedy scene was Zack Snyder, very calm, cool, not forced, no over animated expressions. Because I saw Ben Affleck giving a lot of weird, random over animated expressions, even in the slightest. That was just awkward.
Yeah, he's supposed to, like, that's why I didn't. It's like it's so off. It's like, he definitely didn't come. He wasn't the Bruce Wayne or Batman in BVS, and they try to play it. Like, the real thing is people stand up for it. Like, you feel what I mean? They really stand like, oh man, it's a natural transition. It's an evolution. Because it started off with Superman, then it went dark, and then everything went Silver Age and light and goofy and fun. That's how it's supposed to be. And it's like, no. Because like even where Bruce leaves off and Diana leaves off at the end of BVS, their characters did not represent where they were at when BVS ended.
No.
Which was only you know what I mean? Like, they just weren't. Like,
no, they were left off on a painful lesson. And then they got this scary army or threat coming, and they're totally unprepared. That's not like, hey, give them time. Oh, yeah, more or less.
But you know what I do think, though? I do think that Zack Snyder was trying to beat Disney to Endgame, and pretty much
I think he was, dog.
WB
he invented
fucked it up. You know, like, but I mean, in the sense that I think that he saw that, you know, that they were going to, whatever film that they were going to do, whatever was going to happen in Endgame, because
like a climax.
Let's be honest. Based on even what films come out, if you believe in alternate realities, things change, and other films change, and they end up being different. And other films end up coming in either. So, like, you feel me? Let's say I think that he knew that they were definitely about to wrap up and come to an end of whatever, you feel me, they were gonna do with, that last big Avengers movie before they moved on to the next phase. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? To do a like kind of a soft reboot of Marvel. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that Snyder was trying to beat them to the climax in
Yeah, I
that
think
sense.
he was trying to make his own climactic build up. You know,
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
some
of course. Yeah,
because
he
some
said
point to it
and
all.
yeah, and that's why I feel like it was short and it was supposed to be like probably like a 5 film that that centered around Superman and kind of like went straight for the juggler, like
Yeah.
because I think he wanted to show these characters at their greatest. You feel what I mean? And but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, you feel me? Like put put a test in front of them that people haven't seen before. And you don't really need 20 movies to accomplish that.
No, you don't.
Like
Like Lord of the Rings accomplished that in 3. It's not that difficult.
so I even think because we never even know like we say that's what it is, but I even think with the possibility if in a perfect world if everybody jumped on it and loved it, you know, that it could have all even went past 5 films, whether
Mm.
whether or not regardless of because people say like, oh yeah, Batman dies and they killed Darkseid, just to speed up. That's it. But does it even really have to be the end after that? Darkseid is Darkseid. Like even he can always come back. Like no, he's
Mm-hmm.
fucking Darkseid for one thing, and Superman's not dead. Like you feel me? Wonder Woman be dead. Like who's left? And like at this point, the Green Lantern Corps and all these other things would have been introduced. Like I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
Snyder would have been. I would not think Snyder would have been directing all these films. Like no, you feel me? Like
But he'd be
cause
breaking the
he
dam down to open the floodgates for
yeah,
everybody else.
yeah,
That's what he
exactly.
wanted too. He said that.
Yeah, there was no reason for after what he did, which was going to be pretty short anyway, because even Justice League 2 was supposed to come out this year, and
Mm-hmm.
then who knows? It could have wrapped up on that, or there could have just been a Justice League 3, like straight up, because it could you never know. Maybe it could have been a 3-parter. You feel what I mean? That's
That would have been
what
sick. Well, in a way, I thought BVS was kind of like a precursor to Justice League, anyways, because it was subtitled "Dawn of Justice," like Justice League is
Yeah.
coming. I took it as a setup for that. That's why I never tripped on the nightmare sequence or any
Oh
setups.
yeah.
I never tripped because it was happening. We knew it was going to happen. We were ready for it. We wanted it. We were like, "Thank you, Jesus."
So yeah, but with that, I think that there was a lot of things at play when it came to like, and I even letting that happen, and I think that also that WB got scared. You feel what I
Yeah,
mean? Got
I
scared
think
in
they
their
did.
fucking pants when it came to competing with with Disney at what they probably considered as their game. Like so they could have thought like yeah, how we if we make the films like how Disney makes them, then people then will actually we might stand a fighting chance. Because
Mm-hmm.
people like these dumbass, goofy way Disney makes the films, and you got Jeff Johns over here backing it, and saying like, oh yeah, we got to do, because fun, fun, fun. People want these stuff to be like the comic books they grew up with, nostalgia, nostalgia. And I know comics, I write them, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
like,
It also
and
sounds
it
like
just
limited
it just
thinking.
didn't work. Because what I think is people say like, oh yeah, if Justice League was successful, would Snyder have come back to do Justice League? He probably would have. Like no, no. I think if Justice League the one that came out that we got, I think if that was successful and people ended up seeing that film in droves, I think Snyder could have maneuvered his way back in. But I think ultimately they would have probably just officially brought on Joss Whedon, you feel me, to direct the
Mm.
next one. You feel me? And they probably would have gave him Batgirl too, and all that. Like, cause that's the whole thing. I definitely think that even Joss Whedon, even being brought on for Batgirl, was just a ploy backdoor. Like you got. That's why I say like, you can't listen to these corporations or even what motherfuckers even say on the subject of this shit. You really
No,
gotta
they
come up
want to
with your
get
own
him
sense
on
of
their lot so they could use him when they wanted. That's what I think.
exactly. But if you say that like, oh man, that's not what happened. But it's like, come on, they
Nope.
hired Joss Whedon for Batgirl
And
well
then he did
before they
Justice League.
exactly. And you didn't. You don't think that was planned out. You don't think maybe Jeff Johns was in there like, oh man, like bring on Josh. He did. He did good on the Avengers. Give him Batgirl. And then Joss Whedon is sitting there. Then Jeff Johns sitting here talking about like, oh yeah, I got a secret weapon. What was the secret weapon? Where was the secret weapon at? What's he talking? What was he talking about? Like, don't worry. Like I forgot what sense he was talking. Like, oh yeah, don't worry about Justice League. I have a secret weapon. Like,
Hmm.
like secret weapon.
What you talking about, fool?
Like what? Yeah,
You
what
gonna
you
kill
talking about?
people?
Like he was talking about Joss Whedon.
Mm-hmm.
That was like duh. That was his secret. That was I guess in his mind a secret weapon. It wasn't much of a secret, but because we know how I know how you stank ass motherfuckers move. You feel me? Like, but that was a secret weapon. Like, oh yeah, the secret. I have a secret. We're gonna push Snyder out of there, and then we're gonna get Joss on. He's gonna fix it all up. And Joss Whedon.
Because he did so good to Avengers. Dude, I remember when Superman Returns came out.
Mashed it up.
They were all like talking shit, saying, or not talking shit, but hyping it up, saying, hey, this is the director of X-Men 1 and 2. He made that great. He's going to make this great too. Yeah. It's like they have that name, that kind of logic, where it's like, follow the names of success and we'll find success. Not the actual quality work that's being put in on its own, organically,
right.
Naturally.
And X-Men 1 and 2 are good films in their own way.
They're exceptional in their own way, and the time they came out.
Yeah,
but even I thought they were
Singer,
downplayed, Like, where's the outfits?
Yeah, Brown Singer is still a
Nah,
pedophile, though, so.
Yeah, no, he's disgusting. Seriously, he makes a Superman film where the climax of the film is a grown man sneaks into his illegitimate son's bedroom while he's sleeping to whisper things of what he's going to do to him in the future, and then escapes without any evidence. Come on now, that's a horrible sign.
Wait, when did he do this?
That was in Superman Returns, the end of it, when he got out from his coma. He sneaks into his son's bedroom at night, in the house of a different man and family. Obviously, well, it's his ex-girlfriend. And he, whispers to his son, I'm going to teach you everything the father and son that my father taught me, da da da. And then Lois comes, and then Superman's already gone or something like that. And he's like,
I must have not watched it up to that point.
Yeah, good thing you didn't, because that, symbolically, knowing from the director who did it, that was creepy as fuck. And people are saying that's the Superman they want. I was like, fuck you guys, didn't you just see what happened? That was like glorified superhero pedophilia.
Wait, Bryan Singer directed the recent...
Superman Returns. Yeah.
Yeah, why did I think you were talking about Death of Superman, the animated movie?
Like, nah.
I totally forgot about Superman Returns for a second.
Yeah. I think it's because when I said waking from the coma, I think you were trying to attach what story I was talking about from there.
I'm thinking that you're talking about fucking Reign of the Superman or some shit. Like,
nah, that shit was
I'm
dope.
Like, Superman Returns. Like, and that trash ass movie.
See, if anyone wants any freaking nostalgia, or you have that movie, watch that and shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Release the Snyder Cut.
Wanna be Christopher Reeve's movie.
Yeah, well, that's what they're going for.
It's whack.
I mean, that airplane save and a couple things around town was cool, but that's it. That's like eye candy. You could get over that in 10 minutes.
Now it's pretty telling that Kevin Spacey was in that movie too, directed by Bryan Singer.
The
See,
taint
see how things,
continues.
yeah, see how things line up.
Mm-hmm.
The pins just line up and we just knock them down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, man. I'm not allegedly, as they would say. I'm not throwing any accusations around, but
Also, Bohemian Rhapsody, I didn't like watching that. I didn't know. I forgot Bryan Singer directed it. Because I'm really curious because it's like, oh, wow. This is a story about a guy who's Desi, Indian. He's a brown Asian brother, in American pop culture. And this is, well, music culture. It's British, but you know what I'm saying, right? So it's cool. I was like, oh, are they going to go into his family? Nah, the director focused more on the sexual escapades than the actual family values that was a sub theme of the story. Apparently, originally, they did some scenes that were supposedly be in India, but he wanted to focus on the glitz glam and the sexual escapades more than the family stuff that was also important. So it's just weird. I don't like Bryan
yeah,
Singer. Like,
I'm not surprised.
yeah.
What did people expect?
Psh, I know, right? I don't know. It's just that the good people get punished and the bad people go freely about as they will. And I don't like that.
What you gonna do about it, Kojay?
I'm gonna release a snare cut, that's what I'm gonna do, bro. I'm gonna stop the game stream here, but we can still kick it.